Cape's leader, sports radio play-by-play. Go A's! Chatham on TRC, Cape Cod. Chatham A's baseball, sports radio play-by-play. Let's go A's! Wooden bats through the fog playing under the lights. The stars of tomorrow shine tonight. No one else can beat them. Come on out and see them. Chatham A's baseball, summertime on Cape Cod.
We're halfway through the Cape League season. After a first half of 5-13-3, Chatham looks to start a second half playoff push today against the Harwich Mariners. Alongside Joe Puccio, I'm Ian Unsworth. A lot left to be said for this Chatham A's team, Joe, with a new face in town today, the hitting coach, Rusty Greer, and coming off a big-time win on the 4th of July, 7-1 victory over Orleans.
Yeah, I mean, halfway through the season, and yet there's still lots of developing stories. The first, obviously, with the offense. Chatham getting off the schneid with a win against Orleans, in which timely hits and runs were finally coming across for the A's. But you mentioned Rusty Greer, brand new hitting coach for the Chatham A's, an MLB veteran at that. So comes in with professional experience. You talked to him in Catch of the Day, and I spoke to Tom Holliday about Rusty Greer in the manager's show. So it'll be interesting to see what the coaching staff and the players think of Rusty.
An interesting note for the Harwich side, 2021 Cape League MVP Brock Wilkin has returned to the league after not making the cut with Team USA. Wilkins, a big-time power bat. He's hitting 4th for Steve Engler today, and something Chatham pitcher Nick Regalado definitely has to be careful of.
Yeah, Brock Wilkin, a .222 hitter in just 9 games this season with Harwich. But this is a Mariner team that is 4th in the East Division, looking just like Chatham to sort of get closer towards the top of the division. It's sort of jumbled up with YD, Brewster, and Orleans having all 20-plus points. Harwich and Chatham, the only 2 teams with less than 20. So Brock Wilkin could be that big-time power bat that helps the Mariners moving forward.
2 of 3 teams in the Cape League hitting under 200 look to rediscover some offense today. Harwich with a big-time bat returning, and Chatham with a new hitting coach in town. The Anglers Extra pregame show continues on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Joe will chat with Tom Holliday on the manager's show, and I'll talk with Rusty Greer himself on Catch of the Day. After that, we'll have lineups, the pitching matchup, the national anthem, and everything you'll need to know about this baseball game coming up. The second half of the Cape League season starts today at Veterans Field. Anglers Extra pregame show continues on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Sports Radio, play-by-play. Go A's! Chatham on TRC.
Chatham Bars Inn is Cape Cod's premier 4-diamond oceanfront resort. With 217 luxurious rooms, guests have access to numerous amenities, including a private beach, complimentary children's programs, 4 award-winning restaurants, a new world-class spa, an outdoor pool, and tennis courts. Year after year, Chatham Bars Inn is recognized as one of the top resorts in the world. Chatham Bars Inn and Cape Cod Baseball. Summer fun for the whole family.
We're back on the Anglers Extra pregame show. After an off day, the Anglers and the Mariners battle at Veterans Field here at 7 p.m. I'm Joe Puccio here for the Manager's Show, as always, with Chatham manager Tom Holliday. Tom, big-time win for you guys on the 4th of July.
Yeah, we needed a win, period. You know, it was one of those, you worry, you know, you're going to lose hope and you lose your players. And, you know, the one thing funny about this whole deal is, and it even, you know, changed my perspective a little bit. Got off to a bad start, and yet, you know, all but 2 games we could have won. And coulda and shoulda are bad words when you're talking about baseball and trying to win something, okay? But, you know, you look up and you're 3 points from being in the playoffs, and in the playoffs, anything can happen. Everybody knows that. And when you're pitching like we are, if we continue to work at, you know, finding the sweet spot with a bat, you just never know. So kind of changed the mindset a little bit. And so I think we're 2 points behind these guys, so we can pull one out tonight. You know, we would be in the playoffs if it started tomorrow, so we'll see.
What was the difference in that win comparatively to the last couple losses offensively?
Well, we got a little bit of the tension out. You know, Ledford finally hits a home run. You know, he's a guy that hit 18 home runs this year, and he'd really been struggling just to hit a ball hard. I think he hit the ball hard 3 times all summer. He hits a home run, and then all of a sudden, you know, you see the little bit of camaraderie, you know, in the dugout, guys pulling for him. We lay down a bunt, and we get a base hit right after that. It makes us look smart, which we're not, you know. But you know, some just ordinary baseball moves inside the game instead of just letting them go up and swing and hack and come back and complain and put their head down. So we changed the focus just a little bit about playing the game and forget about, you know, this 2 for 25 guys. They're all better than that. None of our guys are what their batting average is right now. They're all better than that. So quit looking behind you, look forward.
How much did the rally duck influence the offense in the 4th of July?
I don't even know what you're talking about, a rally duck. I don't know what you're talking about.
Some of the players have a plush duck on top of the dugout now, and you guys are 1-0 with the duck on the. I'm just saying.
You ought to know me by now. I think I've met you 4 weeks ago. You ought to know by now that if that duck had anything to do with that game, I'll eat that duck after the game tonight.
Well, someone that should be helping out the offense over the next couple of games, Rusty Greer. Today is his first day here in Chatham. What's his impact been like early on?
No impact yet. I mean, he doesn't want to be impact. He wants to observe, watch him, and see if he can, you know, see something that needs fixed. Nobody wants to jump right into anything and start fixing. Got to make sure it's broke before you fix it. And like I told him, I said, hey, it's yours. You do whatever you want. The biggest thing that we've had to deal with has been mental. It hasn't been physical. So, you know, we'll see. And again, another opinion. Now you have to back off. When you bring another voice in, you have to back off because too many voices just creates confusion. So it'll be fun adapting to him, and you know, we'll see. I mean, Rusty's a great guy and played in the big leagues. He knows where they want to go, and you know, right now a lot of them are, you know, they're questioning their future. So maybe they can get something from him.
One last question before we go. You mentioned the playoff points and the standings early on in this interview. When did you start looking at the playoff picture? Was that after last game, at the start of the month? When did you start looking at the playoff picture?
I started looking at it when I was talking to Wiss the other night after a game. I said, you know, I hate to say this, but kids can accept losing, and I'm anti that. You know, I'm a terrible loser. I have been my whole life, and you know, I said, I really don't like people that are losers. And he's like, well, wait a minute. We're only 3 points from being in the playoffs. And I was just sitting there thinking, okay. So we're talking about that term, and are we letting them learn how to lose and beating each other up? That's what coaches do. You know, if they care. If they don't care, they always blame the umpires. They always blame something else. But you know, after we kicked it around, like, you know, what are we going to do to shake it up? Well, we tried to shake it up. You know, we got right down to where we were ready to put names in a hat and let one of the pitchers pull out 9 guys and let them hit in that order. We were right on the edge of doing that. And when he said, you know, we're only 3 points out, I was like, oh, okay. You know, so he changed my mind just by throwing that at me. And, you know, I'm ready to go to another extreme. And that's basically when it happened, coming back after we got no hit, you know, over at Orleans the other night.
You're a competitor and potentially a duck eater in the future. Tom, thanks for the time.
You know, somebody told me they had duck the other night at a restaurant and said it was pretty good. So I'll eat duck. I won't eat that piece of crap on our dugout.
Well, that's Tom Holliday on the Manager's Show. A's and M's coming up at 7 p.m. Let's send it up to the press box with Ian Unsworth as the Anglers Extra pregame show continues.
Duck à l'orange is a favorite of mine, a little duck with orange sauce. I don't know if that's Tom Holliday's favorite, but maybe the A's can make him eat his words. Right now, the Chatham offense has been anything but spectacular, hitting 182 batting average-wise as a team, the worst mark in the Cape League, 52 runs, the fewest scored in the Cape League, and 227 strikeouts, the most for any squad out of the 10 teams in the Cape League. Chatham with a 5-13-3 record. It's game 22, the last game of the first half of the Cape League season. But as Joe mentioned, Chatham could get back into the playoff picture with a win over Harwich today. I spoke with the man who's enlisted to fix the A's offense, Rusty Greer, on Catch the Day.
Chatham on TRC, Cape Cod.
The Anglers Extra pregame show continues from Veterans Field. It's time for Catch of the Day. Ian Unsworth joined by Chatham's brand new hitting coach, Rusty Greer. Rusty, thanks for coming on.
Oh, you bet, man. My pleasure. Glad to be here.
Rusty, a 9-year MLB vet, over 300 career hitter, and now the newest member of the Chatham A's coaching staff. So, Rusty, what led you to become a coach?
Well, baseball consumes my life. Trying to actually get into the college game, and Coach Holliday called me back in early March and asked if I want to come up and be the hitting coach. I said sure. I had some stuff I had to do camp-wise that I run, which put me up here the first week of July instead of being here from the beginning. But just enjoy baseball, and it consumes my life.
When did you first meet Tom?
I first shook his hand right over there a minute ago, but I've known who he is. He's known who I am, and we talked on the phone quite a bit when we were putting this together. So I'm very comfortable with who he is and what he does as a coach.
Coming in to help a team that's hitting 182 on the year, and I know you've only been here for a short couple of hours, but what have you seen thus far from Chatham's hitters?
Well, they all have good swings. They're big and strong and physical, and I don't know so much it's anything physical, but just understanding how to hit and what counts to look for, and understanding timing and when to start. Some different stuff we're going to talk about over the course of the rest of the summer.
I noticed you talking to Marcus Brown a lot through these first couple rounds of BP. What did you see in Marcus's swing that you're tweaking?
Well, he actually was talking about a little separation he wanted to work on. So that I'm going to take a couple days and understand who these guys are as hitters. And I told them, I kind of met with each one as a group and told them if they had something they want to work on or address right now, to me, but let me get my bearings, and then we'll start talking about stuff. But he wanted to work on a little separation, talk about it. So that's what I'm doing.
Is there a coach that you had in the big leagues, college, or even farther back that inspired you to start coaching?
Well, I can say most all of them because, one, you enjoy helping, especially this level of player. When you get to professional baseball, it's you guide folks, but there's more that goes into the coaching aspect of it here because these guys are trying to get to that professional level. I just enjoyed it, and guys have taught me along the way things to look for and how to do it and how to relay it and how to say it, so that's why I enjoy it.
What's the best part about working with college-age kids?
They still have somewhere they want to go, and the game is still somewhat pure. And they want to win and don't want to lose, sorry. And I just enjoy coming to the park and watching them get better as players.
And you mentioned that your son played up here last year. Do you have a favorite Cape League memory from watching him play?
No, I can just remember rain and fog and cold and all that stuff. But he had a good time, and I had a good time over here visiting with him. And so hopefully it'll be the same this go around. Last
one, do you have a story from your time in the pros that you're going to tell these kids to inspire them?
Maybe. I'm not going to share it on this camera, but maybe. So we'll get there when we get there, yeah.
Rusty Greer leading the Chatham A's hitters for days to come. First time in Veterans Field as a coach. Thanks for coming on Catch the Day, Rusty.
Thank you, and I appreciate it.
We'll send it back up to Joe Puccio for the rest of the Anglers Extra pregame show.
Well, Rusty Greer remembers rain, cold, fog. That couldn't be anywhere close to what's happening right now at Veterans Field. 75 degrees and sunny on a July afternoon at Veterans Field. A gorgeous night for baseball. Hey, get a look at this. Rusty Greer played 9 seasons in Major League Baseball. 3 of them, he had triple-digit RBI numbers. A career high of 108 in 1998 with the Texas Rangers. That is an offensive mind that the Chatham A's need. 5-13-3, finally got a win after an 8-game winless streak was snapped on the 4th of July, and they need another big-time win, trailing the Harwich Mariners by 2 points in the standings. Chatham and Harwich coming up after the break.
Anglers Extra. Chatham on TRC, Cape Cod.
As a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, the Mass State Lottery is celebrating the games we love playing. From the baseball diamond to the many lottery games that help support all 351 cities and towns across the Commonwealth. So here's to 50 years of winning and 50 more. Celebrating 20 seasons on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Chatham A's Baseball is on the air right now.
Swings and hits one to left center field. Back goes McFadden. He will not get there. It's a home run. A grand slam for Todd Frazier.
Chugging into second base with an RBI double is Evan Longoria. He is 4 for 4.
Hit on the ground, left side. Will it get through? Off Crawford and into center field. Federovic scores and Chatham wins it in 11. The game-winning hit from Seager. It's a 5-4 Chatham winner.
And now, with your play-by-play, Joe Puccio and Ian Unsworth.
Almost halfway through the Cape League season, it's time for Game 22 between Chatham and Harwich. The Mariners with a record of 6-12-3, Chatham 5-13-3. The A's can move up to 4th with a win today. Alongside Joe Puccio, I'm Ian Unsworth. Let's take a look at both teams' lineups presented by the Chatham Squire. Steve Englert and the visiting Mariners start with Prez Cavanaugh playing left field, leading off from UNCG. Nick Goodwin, the Kansas State shortstop, hits second, and Chris Newell, the center fielder from Virginia, hits third. Brock Wilkin making his return after a stint trying out for Team USA, hits cleanup. He's the DH from Wake Forest. Joe Vitrano hits 5th, the Boston College first baseman. Graham Pauley 6th, the Duke second baseman. And Kenny Lavari, a second-year Cape Leaguer last year with the Chatham A's, plays 3rd, hits 7th. He's from Old Dominion. Tatum Levens, the pit catcher, hits 8th, and bringing up the rear, right fielder William Haminer from Bama. Joe, the Chatham lineup.
Leading off, left fielder Guy Garibay from Rice. Batting second is the Clemson DH Cooper Ingle. Clemson center fielder Caden Grice bats 3rd. Noah Ledford sits in the cleanup spot as Chatham's first baseman. He had that 2-run home run last time out. Lyle Miller Green's in right. He bats 5th. Marcus Brown's a shortstop batting 6th. Rock Riggio bats 7th and plays at second base. Hayden Travinsky's behind the plate batting 8th. And batting 9th, third baseman Johnny Castagnazzi.
We'll send it over to PA announcer Peter Burns for the national anthem.
Please rise for tonight's national anthem. Tonight's national anthem will be performed by Sarah Jane Mason, a local music therapist and music teacher who's been honored to perform on stages all over the country. With tonight's national anthem, please welcome Sarah Jane Mason.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming in the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Sarah Jane Mason with an outstanding
National anthem complete and just about ready for baseball at Veterans Field. Chatham on the third base side, Harwich on the first base side. The pitching matchup brought to us by the Red Nun Bar and Grill. It's Nicholas Regalado on the bump for the A's, making his 4th appearance.
Nicholas Regalado, number 50 in Chatham Blue. His last time out, pitched 4 innings, gave up 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 strikeouts, and 3 walks in the loss at born. But Nick Regalado has a 3-pitch mix, mostly consisting of a fastball in the low 90s and a curveball slider that only really has a difference in about 2 miles an hour. So he throws both of those breaking pitches along with the fastball.
For Harwich, Carlson Reed, right-hander from West Virginia, makes his 4th Cape League appearance. First 3 of those all starts. Reed throws a fastball, slider, and changeup. The heater can get around 95. Spoke with his teammate at West Virginia, Ben Hampton, who said Reed is a guy that's got great stuff, but mentally he's not all there yet. Still young and inexperienced. A guy that's a year younger than Hampton, born 11 months before, and they're both sophomores.
And his numbers sort of reflect that in this, I can't say early season anymore. We're almost halfway through. 13 innings, an ERA of 4.15. 12 strikeouts to 9 walks. So there's still the growing pains with the Cape Cod Baseball League, but as you mentioned, right, he's still a young pitcher trying to understand his own arm.
Regalado on the bump for Chatham, throwing his warm-up pitches. The Anglers in the home white pinstripe uniforms, both tops and bottoms. Anglers in script royal across the chest, red numbers on the left hip, and on the back, blue numbers in full block letters. Royal blue hats with the red A logo in the center. Harwich in road maroon.
From UNC Greensboro, number 7, Press Kavanaugh.
Today's umpires, presented by Audio Associates, Brandon Johnson behind home plate, Rick Emerson at first base, and Ryan Damari at third base. Press Kavanaugh settles into the left-handed batter's box. Johnny Castagnazzi, the third baseman, moves into the grass. Sun high in left field at Veterans Field. The first pitch. A called strike on the outside corner. At 7:01, 76 degrees in Chatham. Time and temperature brought to you by the Chatham Athletic Association. Regalado's 0-1. Above the letters, evens up the count. Shadows cast from the trees behind the Veterans Field scoreboard, cover left and center field. Next pitch. Low and away. 2-1 to Kavanaugh.
Quick tempo to start off here from Regalado. Quickly set on the left side.
Red glove at the hip. He delivers. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. 88 low and away. Regalado with a diverse arsenal. 2-seam and 4-seam fastball. A slider and a cutter. Next pitch. Rollover ground ball, foul on the first base side. This is Nick Regalado's 4th outing. He's got a 2.45 ERA in the first 3. Next pitch. Called strike 3 in the outside corner.
The shortstop from Kansas State, number 6.
Well-placed slider from Nick Regalado. Hayden Travinsky framed it behind home plate, and Kavanaugh stared back at the pitcher as he walks to the first base dugout. Here's Nick Goodwin, right-handed hitting shortstop from Kansas State. Back foot on the chalk of the box. Regalado delivers. Misses low and away with the slider. Goodwin hitting .230. He's played in all 21 games. Next pitch. Popped foul. Goodwin got a fastball and flared it towards the playground.
Is on the outside corner as well. Drove his hands to that pitch, but got under the baseball.
Regalado already ready. Starts the windup from the first base side. Here's the 1-1. Called strike 2, outer half. 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Regalado nods in, gets the sign, and fires. It's up and away. 2-2 count. Shadows starting to sneak into the infield. Breezes swirl, blowing the flags to left. Next offering. Goodwin swings and misses.
The center fielder from the University of Virginia.
Slider low, sits down Goodwin. That's back-to-back strikeouts for Nick Regalado beginning the top of the first. Joe, let's check out the rest of Chatham's defense, presented by Short and Sweet Ice Cream.
From left to right in the outfield, Guy Garibay, Caden Grice, and Lyle Miller-Green. Third to first, Johnny Castagnazzi, Marcus Brown, Rock Riggio, and Noah Ledford.
First pitch to lefty Chris Newell in the dirt, ball 1.
The battery for Chatham today: on the mound, Nick Regalado, and behind the plate, Hayden Travinsky.
Newell, the center fielder from Virginia. Regalado fires. Newell ropes it into right. It drops to the left of Miller-Green, a base hit. Newell takes a wide turn around first, retreats to the bag as the throw comes in. Built high fastball, and Chris Newell turned on it, his 9th hit of the year.
The wind was sort of swirling in batting practice today, going from each of the foul poles towards center field. But that line drive down the right field line went against the wind, stayed fair down the foul line.
We noticed a lot of baseballs tailing towards left. Here's Brock Wilkin. Cleanup hitter for Steve Engler, righty. First pitch. Called strike in the outside corner. 91-mile-an-hour fastball. Wilkin, last year's Cape League MVP, hitting .302, leading the league in doubles and walks. Pick over to first. Newell dives in without a tag. Newell stands 6'4", 225. Regalado deals. Bounces a breaking ball. Travinsky blocks it and keeps Newell at first.
Travinsky blocked the baseball, then just stood up and looked towards first. He didn't have the baseball in his hands. Interesting move from the backstop.
Rock Riggio sneaks closer to second base. He's playing in shallow right. Next offering. Wilkin pops it high and foul. Next to the bathrooms, to the right and behind home plate. Joe and I are slightly down the third baseline in the Chatham A's press box. Second level, left corner. 1-2, 2 outs. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Nick Regalado strikes out the side in the top of the first. He gets Prez Kavanaugh looking, and then Nick Goodwin and Chris Newell swinging. A very impressive start for Chatham pitching. But on the other side, it's the bats that need to get going for the A's. Rusty Greer's in town, so maybe he can help Chatham improve. It's 182 batting average, the worst for a team in the Cape League. With a win today, the A's can move up into 4th place in the Cape Cod League East Division standings. The Chatham Bats get started with Garibay, Ingle, and Grice after the break on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Sports Radio, play-by-play. Go A's! Chatham on GRC.
Almost ready for the bottom of the first at Veterans Field. No score between Harwich and Chatham. A's pitcher Nick Regalado struck out the side in the top of the frame. His opposite, Carlson Reed, just threw his last warm-up pitch. 6'4", 200-pound righty from West Virginia. Started off against Guy Garibay, Cooper Ingle, and Caden Grice.
Carlson Reed with a 3-pitch mix, a fastball in the mid-90s with a slider and changeup that sits in the mid-80s.
Garibay settles into the left-handed batter's box. Reed works from the windup on the first base side. He deals. Fastball above the letters at 92. Ball 1. Reed kicks and deals. Fastball up and away. 2-0. He stands slightly bow-legged on the mound. Holds the glove at his chest and deals. 3 straight balls. And this the book on Carlson Reed early on. Ben Hampton said sometimes he doesn't have his control. 3-0 to Garibay. The pitch. 91 on the inside corner.
And he's pitching to a Chatham team that is pretty comfortable with plate discipline.
3-1 pitch. Another called strike, same exact spot, inside corner. Count goes full to Garibay. And there's the pitch. Garibay strokes it to deep right field. Hamner goes back. It's gone. Full count blast for Guy Garibay. 1-0 Chatham in the bottom of the first. Garibay's second home run of the year.
And there he goes. Guy Garibay gets the rubber rally duck. Smiles on all of the anglers' faces. It's exactly the start you want.
If it's the duck or Rusty Greer, who's now coaching first base for the A's, or just the tides turning in Chatham, something's gotten going for this A's offense. Here's Cooper Ingle, left-handed bat. Reed puts a breaking ball on the outer half, strike 1. Chatham's 9th home run as a team. Here's the 0-1. Low and outside. Count even at 1 apiece to Ingle. Ingle settles in, and Reed delivers. Big swing and miss at a changeup, low and outside. Tom Holliday tells Cooper Ingle to use the yard. The pitch bounces in the dirt, and the count goes to 2-2.
It's exactly what Guy Garibay did on his home run, right over that 314 side at short porch.
2-2, the pitch. Up and outside, and we talked about the wind in the top of the first, Joe. That ball was not affected in any way, shape, or form by wind. Gone off the bat.
Just kept carrying.
Full count. The pitch, up and in. Cooper Ingle walks his team-leading 15th.
That's what I was hinting at earlier before Garibay planted a baseball on the right field hill. Chatham is a very disciplined team at the plate. No one more so than Cooper Ingle.
As a team, Chatham has 74 walks, which puts them about squarely in the midst of all Cape League teams. The problem's been the strikeouts. Here's Caden Grice, center fielder. He takes the first pitch at the shoe tops, ball 1. Grice has struck out 27 times in 21 games. He's walked 7 times. Ingle a 2.5-step lead off first, now make it 3. Reed deals. Changeup outside, 2-0. Reed working from the stretch with both of Harwich's infielders pinched towards second base. Graham Pauley, the second baseman, and Nick Goodwin, the shortstop, looking to turn 2. Reed kicks, deals. Grice laces one past Pauley and into right field. A single. Ingle racing towards third. Grice a wide turnaround first after William Hamiter, the right fielder, bobbled the baseball while picking it up. Runners on the corners, no outs, and Chatham a 1-0 lead.
I don't know what happened to Graham Pauley over at second base. He overran the ground ball running towards the second base bag, and then the ball went past him on the left side. He slipped and fell in the dirt.
Caden Grice smashed that baseball, hit it right on the barrel. Pauley got misdirected. Noah Ledford, cleanup hitter in the lefty box. Reed set. He fires. Ledford rips it back to the netting behind home plate. 0-1 count to Ledford, who hit a 2-run shot to right center field, which lifted the weight off of Chatham's shoulders in the 4th of July 7-1 win over Orleans. Ledford ready, Here's the 0-1. Off speed high.
That's what Tom Holliday said earlier today. They expected Noah Ledford to come in here and jack baseballs to right field. He had 18 home runs with Georgia Southern this past year.
Grice a wide lead off of first. Pick over. Grice dives in safely, and Engel stays put at third base. The Harwich outfield giving Noah Ledford a lot of room down the right field line. A big gap in right center as well. 1-1 pitch. A called strike. Changeup on the outside corner, and Brandon Johnson behind home plate. Signal. 1-2 count. Reed hunched over in the stretch, stares in to get the sign from catcher Tatum Levens. He comes set and delivers. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Ledford couldn't touch an 82-mile-an-hour slider, and he goes down swinging for the first out. Joe, the rest of Harwich's defensive alignment, presented by Short and Sweet Ice Cream.
From left to right in the outfield, Press Kavanaugh, Chris Newell, and Will Hameter. Third to first, Kenny Lavari, Nick Goodwin, Graham Pauley, and Joe Vetrano.
Lyle Miller-Green in the right-handed batter's box. First pitch. Fastball called strike, outside corner.
As Ian hinted at earlier, the battery for Harwich on the mound, Carlson Reed, and behind the plate, Tatum Levens.
Reed gets the sign, still working from the stretch with runners on the corners. Next delivery. Swing and a miss. Ball bounced in the dirt, and Miller-Green waved over the top. Both runners stay put. As there's time, Levens is digging something out of his right eye. The Harwich catcher, clad in his yellow and blue Pitt Panther gear, settles back into his crouch behind the dish. Miller-Green taps the plate twice as both runners lead. 0-2 count, 1 down. Reed set the pitch. Slightly inside, 1-2.
Lyle Miller-Green is another one of those bats that Tom Holliday wants to see get out to a hot start. He's only played in 3 games this season, but with 1 hit. It's a guy who hit .248 last summer here in Chatham.
Miller-Green 1 for 9. The 1-2. Low. Miller-Green checked his swing, and Rick Emerson, the first base umpire, said no swing. Chatham leads Harwich 1-0 in the bottom of the first. Guy Garibay with a leadoff home run to right field. Reed set, 2-2 count. He deals. Fastball low and away. Full count. 3 of Chatham's first 5 batters have been in full count situations.
It's that plate discipline that we talked about earlier.
And Reed struggling to throw strikes. Here's the 3-2. High. Ball 4. A breaking ball above the letters, and Miller-Green took it without flinching. He flips the bat towards the third base dugout, and with the base on balls, they're now juiced. Engel on third, Grice on second, Miller-Green on first for Marcus Brown, who after going hitless in 11 straight at-bats, had a double and an RBI single in his last 2 ups on Monday.
And that RBI single came after an intentional walk.
Brown, lefty, ready. Reed delivers. It skips in the dirt. It's past the catcher, and Cooper Engel comes home to score. Throw back to third. Hits Kenny Lavari in the face. Caden Grice took third. Lyle Miller-Green took second. And errantly, Tatum Levens fired the ball to Lavari, who was not looking. The Harwich third baseman on the ground holding his head. Harwich players are all crouched, and Lavari still on the ground. Reed crouched near the first base side dugout with head in hands, and Levens with his hand over his head. LeVar is receiving medical attention from both the Harwich and Chatham training staffs. Steve Englert and LeVar's coach last year, Tom Holliday, are both out checking on the third baseman.
His teammate last year, Caden Grice, had a front row seat to that, standing over at third base.
LeVar's on his feet. He's communicating with the training staffs, nodding his head. He's moving well. Grice gives him a tap on the backside. LeVar gets his hat back. It fell off when he went to the ground. He's feeling the left side of his jaw. He's walking back with Steve Englert and the Harwich trainer towards the first base dugout. Harwich is going to make multiple defensive change. Well, one defensive change right now. David Smith is going out to play second base, and that'll kick Graham Pauley over to third. Chatham leads Harwich 2-0 in the bottom of the first. The count is 1-0 to Marcus Brown. Cooper Ingalls scored on the previous pitch, a slider which bounced in the dirt past catcher Tatum Levens. And Levens threw the ball errantly to third, hitting Kenny LeVar in the face. LeVar exits the game. David Smith enters playing second. Graham Pauley moves to third. Runners on second and third for Chatham. 1 out. Alongside Joe Puccio, I'm Ian Unsworth. This game 22 of the regular season between Chatham and Harwich. The A's 5-13-3. Marcus Brown settled back in the left-handed batter's box. 1-0 count. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Fastball in the dirt. Brown was out in front. Corners for Harwich playing in. And the middle infielders move in as well. Smith backs up to his normal spot. 1-1 count. Reed fires. A called strike on the outside corner. Brown shakes his head. It was a fastball which barely got the black.
And Marcus Brown got that single in a 2-strike, 2-out count last time out against Orleans.
Brown moves up in the box. 1-2. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike three. Slider sunk below the zone, and Brown cut through it.
Brown was right in front of that pitch. Just attacked it too early.
2 outs in the bottom of the first. Both of them strikeouts from Carlson Reed. With first pitch at 7:01, the bottom of the first has been going on for 15 minutes after Nick Regalado worked quickly, striking out the side in the top half. First pitch to Rock Riggio, laced into right field. Extra bases. Grice scores. Miller Green scores. Riggio rounding second, gets the wave to third. The throw comes in. Riggio safe. A bases clearing triple for Rock Riggio. 2-run score. It's his 4th hit of the year, the first for extra bases. A short and sweet triple for Rock Riggio.
For Rock Riggio to get on top of that baseball, drive it into right field, and bring all those runners home. Man, you wonder with confidence this can help him out with the rest of the season. A guy who was hitting nearly 300 with OSU, over 500 in the NCAA regionals.
First pitch to Hayden Travinsky. A called strike on the outer half. An offensive explosion for Chatham in the bottom of the first. 4 runs on 3 hits and 2 walks. Reed set. He fires. Travinsky half swings and misses at a slider. LSU catcher down in the count 0-2. Travinsky, a wide stance, holds the bat over his head, slightly choked up. Reed fires. Breaking ball in the dirt. 1-2. And it's come out of nowhere for the A's. We've only scored 52 runs coming into today. 1-2 pitch, called strike 3. Both pitchers strike out the side, but in very different fashions. Regalado with an easy 1-2-3 in the top of the first, and Chatham in the bottom of the first scores 4 runs on 3 hits. A solo shot to right center field from Guy Garibay, and a 2-run triple from Rock Riggio highlight the inning. A big-time outburst from the Chatham offense. 8 batters come to the plate, 4 runs score. 4-0 Chatham through 1 on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Chatham on TRZ, Cape Cod.
Sweet Tomatoes Pizza, located right around the corner from Veterans Field at 790 Main Street in Chatham. Pick up a pie on your way to the game or grab a calzone before first pitch. The dough for their specialty pizza is rolled right before your eyes. Eat in or take out, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and sometimes later. Call 508-348-0200. See their full menu online at SweetTomatosCapeCod.com. Sweet Tomatoes, a Chatham pregame tradition.
Well, I came by your house the other day. Your mother said you went away. She said there was nothing that I could have done. There was nothing nobody could say. Now me and you, we've known each other, yeah, ever since we were 16. I wished I would have known. I wished I could have called you just to say goodbye, Bobby G.
Top of the second at Veterans Field, Chatham a 4-0 lead on Harwich. 4 runs all coming on 3 hits in the bottom of the first. Alongside Joe Puccio, I'm Ian Unsworth. Left-handed hitting Joe Vitrano leads off the top of the second, followed by Graham Pauly and David Smith. First pitch from Regalado. Changeup at the knees, strike 1. Regalado shakes off a sign from Travinsky. Lifts the leg, deals. Vitrano grounds it left side. Brown fields behind the second base bag. Throw to first in time for the first out.
Marcus Brown's just such a smooth fielder. Every time the ball's grounded to him, left side, right side, he uses his momentum to power him to the throw.
Here's Graham Pauly, who moved from second to third in the last half inning after Kenny Lavari took a baseball to the face. Regalado fires and puts a strike in at the knees. 87 miles an hour, two-seam fastball from the Florida Southwestern State right-handed pitcher. He winds and fires. A slider inside corner. Quickly, 2 strikes on Pauly.
Ian, I have a trivia question, if you are ready to answer at any point here.
Well, first the 0-2. Slightly outside.
Can you name the last time that Chatham scored more than 1 run in the first inning?
I'll get back to you on that. Regalado delivers. Pauly taps it foul, a spinner to the third base dugout. More than 1 run in an inning.
More than 1 run in the first inning.
In the first inning.
Yes.
The last game against Harwich at home.
No.
1-2 pitch. Pauly squares it up. Left center field. Grice comes in and catches it hip high on the run. Second out of the inning. Caden Grice positioned perfectly.
I talked to Tom Holliday before the season, and I was like, are you actually going to put Caden Grice in center field? Well, Clemson did it. Worked for the Tigers. It's working for the Anglers, too. He has such range out there in center field. I'll give you the answer to the trivia question after this.
David Smith, left-handed hitter, gets in. First pitch. 76-mile-an-hour slider on the inside corner. Strike 1.
Game 2 of the doubleheader against Wareham.
Next delivery outside, and that was on the Grice home run.
Correct. Matt Hogan was standing on second base for that one.
Regalado winds, fires. Smith smacks it the other way, off a car in the parking lot. That's definitely going to leave a mark.
You don't need any crowd microphones to pick up that thud.
Counts 1-2. Regalado the pitch. Half swing and a miss. But no swing. Ryan Damari, the third base umpire, said Smith checked his swing. Tom Holliday is off his perch behind the third base dugout. He's peering directly at Damari, the third base ump. 2-2 count. Regalado deals. Two-seamer low and away.
He's just giving him the death stare. Tom Holliday may be saying
it was clearly a swing.
That was a swing.
Full count. 2 outs. Payoff pitch. Low, ball 4. And the ball thrown behind Regalado. No one's looking. It sneaks into center field between Rock Riggio and Marcus Brown. Everyone's still stunned about that no swing call.
The catcher from Pitt, number 2.
And Ian, I have a problem. I put strikeouts in pen, and I just have a giant K in this at-bat square. I don't know what to do. I think I need to get a brand new book.
Tom Holliday says that the ump needs an ice cream cone. Maybe Harwich is purchasing one for Ryan Damari. 2 outs, men on first. First offering to Tatum Levens outside.
The ump needs an ice cream cone. What does that even mean?
I have no clue. I really couldn't tell you, Joe. Chatham's up 4-0 right now. The offense sweet for the A's. A solo home run from Guy Garibay kicked off the bottom of the first, and Chatham scored 3 more runs on a wild pitch and a Rock Riggio RBI triple. Regalado's picked over twice, keeping a close eye on Smith, who gets a 3-step lead. Regalado deals home and puts a slider on the outside corner. 1-1 count to Levens. Levens' 9th game. He's 3 for 26. Next pitch. Chopped foul towards the Mariners dugout. Regalado shakes out his jersey and digs back into the rubber. Holds his red glove next to his left armpit. Comes set with his hands at the belt. Levens ready. Wide stance. Here's the 1-1. A called strike 3. Count was 1-2. Regalado's got 4 strikeouts through 2 innings, and Chatham's got a 4-0 lead. The A's go back to the plate in the bottom of the second, starting with Johnny Castagnazzi, Guy Garibay, and Cooper Ingle. Chatham in control through 1.5.
Chatham on TRC, Cape Cod.
T-Mobile is proud to sponsor the Cape Cod Baseball League. The people at T-Mobile are committed to serve those who serve, and that's why they go above and beyond for our active duty military, veterans, and first responders. Visit your neighborhood T-Mobile store or T-Mobile.com to learn more.
I got so down and out in Frisco, tired of the pills and the rain. I picked up headed for the sunshine. I left a good thing behind. Seemed all of our love was in vain. Now my baby's coming in on the Tucson train. I come here looking for a new life, one I wouldn't have to explain. That voice that keeps me awake at night, when a little piece would make everything right. If I could just turn off my brain. But now my baby's coming in on the Tucson train. We fought hard over nothing. We fought till nothing remained. I've carried that nothing for a long time.
4-0 Chatham through 1.5. Johnny Castagnazzi leads off the bottom of the second at Veterans Field. Alongside Joe Puccio, I'm Ian Unsworth. Beautiful sunset behind the trees in left. Only a sliver of sunlight remaining on the field in front of William Hammeter in right. The rest obscured in shadow. Carlson Reed back on the bump for his second inning of work after a rather rough first. Castagnazzi, back foot on the chalk, the back line of the right-handed batter's box. Reed fires. Castagnazzi taps it foul off of Tatum Levens. And the catcher is face first in the ground right now, still on hands and knees. The baseball might have got him in a rather uncomfortable spot.
He didn't move for about 10 to 15 seconds. He was sort of just seated in that kneeling position.
Levens holds his mask in his hands and looks down the first base line. Harwich has already removed one player from the ball game. Kenny Lavari got hit with a throw from Levens down to third base. It was after a wild pitch when all runners advanced. Caden Grice ventured off third. The 0-1 pitch. Castagnazzi swings through a slider, 0-2. Caden Grice got to third on the wild pitch. Took a slight round towards home, and Levens fired the ball at an unsuspecting Lavari.
Just a lack of communication between the two.
0-2 to Castagnazzi. Righty-righty matchup. Reed winds, fires. Fastball outside makes it 1-2. Castagnazzi's 11th game. He's 3 for 21. Hasn't played against the last matchup as the next pitch goes outside. Castagnazzi hasn't played since the last time these two teams met. He struck out twice, and then Tom Holliday pulled him from the game. Here's the 2-2. Up and in. Castagnazzi twirls out of the way.
No, in one of those games, Johnny Castagnazzi played second base, a spot we hadn't seen him play all season.
Full count. Reed, glove at the chest, starts the windup and deals. Swing and a miss. Another slider from Carlson Reed, and Castagnazzi could not touch it.
All 4 of Carlson Reed's outs have been strikeouts. I don't know if you could tell from that because of the 4 runs he gave up in the first inning.
Reed came into the ballgame with 12 strikeouts and 9 walks. Top of the order up, Guy Garibay. First pitch fastball below the knees. 1-0. Garibay hit a solo shot to right field in the first. Next pitch. Outside, Garibay started his swing but kept the bat behind his head. Garibay's home run was his second of the year and 9th for Chatham. 2-0. Called strike on the outer half. Reed peers at the plate, starts the windup. The pitch. Called strike. 2-2 to Garibay. It was a fastball in the outer half. 91 on the gun. Next offering. Low and inside. Joe, this has to be 5 or 6 full counts now. Chatham's been through the order once.
It's been a tough go at the plate.
The next offering. Garibay swings and misses at a high fastball. That is 5 strikeouts for Carlson Reed.
Pitchers that pitch really quickly do that because they're confident in their stuff and they know what they have on the mound. Granted, those 5 strikeouts are nice, but the 4 runs in the first inning would sort of conflict with that argument.
Reed's peering into this catcher as he fires to Engel. Low and inside. Cooper Engel took his time walking around the backside of the home plate cutout. Reed just stared at Levens. Here's the 1-0. Called strike. Reed gets the baseball and is immediately back on the rubber. Now takes a deep breath. Here's the 1-1. Up and outside.
When Levens throws the ball back to Reed, once he catches the ball, it takes him 5 seconds to get set.
He deals. Engel chops it to the right side. Three-hopper right to David Smith, the second baseman. He throws to first and ends the inning.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be a long-standing supporter of the Cape Cod Baseball League and its contribution.
Carlson Reed working extremely quickly. 5 of his 6 outs have been strikeouts, but Chatham with a 4-0 lead through 2 innings on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Chatham A's on the air.
Top of the third, Chatham leads Harwich 4-0 at Veterans Field.
Number 36, William Hammer.
Ian Unsworth, Joe Puccio to my left. This is game 22 for the A's and Mariners. William Hammer, right fielder from Alabama, the first hitter. Regalado fires, and the pitch chopped to the right side. Reggio fields it, throws to Ledford, and gets Hammer.
Top of the order, right fielder, Press Kavanaugh.
1 pitch, 1 out for Regalado, who's got 4 strikeouts of his own.
Both pitchers having the command of the zone early on. There hasn't been many ball and strike calls that either manager have argued from Brendan Johnson.
Press Kavanaugh, lefty hitter. Next pitch. A called strike. 0-1.
The only real conflict between managers and umpires was Tom Holliday questioning a check swing from third base umpire Ryan DeMarine.
Regalado delivers. Puts it at the knee. Strike 2. Both pitchers working with plenty of pace. Regalado gets the ball back, shakes out his sleeves, and he's ready to start his windup. Drops the leg, lifts it, and deals. Kavanaugh lifts it to right. Miller Green trots back. He's at the warning track and makes the catch. 2 quick outs for Nicholas Regalado. Harwich has only had 2 men on base. 1 hit, a single from Chris Newell in the first, and a walk in the second to David Smith. And that was the call you mentioned, Joe, a 2-2 pitch, in which Smith clearly went around, but DeMarie said he didn't swing.
And Regalado stayed with it. Very next batter, Tatum Levins, punched him out looking.
Here's Nick Goodwin, righty shortstop. First pitch cranked to right, and it drops to the left of Miller Green, a base hit. Goodwin lined up a first pitch fastball and hit a hard line drive. Miller Green played it on 1 hop, no chance to catch it.
Goodwin inside the top 5 in the team amongst qualified hitters and batting average. Came into this game batting .230.
And he's got the 3rd most RBI in the Cape League, 12. Regalado from the stretch, peers in and deals. Chris Newell, center fielder from Virginia, takes outside. Newell, a late addition to the Harwich Mariners, as Regalado misses low and inside. 2-0 count. Newell didn't play in game 2 between these 2 teams at Veterans Field. One of Chatham's 5 wins coming into today. Regalado fires. Newell swings and misses. A cutter low and inside to the lefty batter.
But Newell hasn't missed a beat. Almost a 300 hitter to start this season.
Throw over. Goodwin dives in. 2-1 to Newell. Wind blows to the left corner of Veterans Field. Here's the pitch. Newell hits a bouncer up the middle. Brown fields behind the bag. Throws to first and gets the speedy Chris Newell. to end the top of the third.
We appreciate and thank the sponsors who support the
Nick Regalato's been on his game for the Chatham A's. 4 strikeouts, and he's stranded a runner in every inning. The A's with a 4-0 lead through 2.5 on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Chatham A's on the air. Long as I remember, the rain been coming down, clouds of mystery pouring, confusion on the ground. Could be through the ages, trying to find the sun. And I wonder, still I wonder, who'll stop the rain? I went down Virginia.
A 4-0 Chatham lead. A beautiful sunny day at Veterans Field. Ian Unsworth, Joe Puccio with you on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Carlson Reed, Harwich starter on the bump, throwing his final warm-up pitch before the bottom of the third. Caden Bryce, Noah Ledford, and Lyle Miller-Green due up for the A's. A first in Chatham A's broadcasting history. We've got a bumblebee on our mixing board to our left. Joe, any special reports about how we're removing the bee?
I have a yellow highlighter in my right hand, and that's all I can say right now.
Joe will poke and prod at the bumblebee while Reed gets ready to throw to Caden Grice. Wind up, first pitch. Up and outside. Reed, the righty arm, dealing to Caden Grice, a left-handed hitter from Clemson. Reed nods to Levins and deals. Puts a fastball at the knees, 1-1 count.
Ian, I think the bee's dead. I think it died on the mixing board. It's in the process of dying.
1-1. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Grice loses his bat to the first base side concourse. It's happened in back-to-back games.
They were joking about it earlier today. Marcus Brown and Caden Grice talking about Caden Grice losing his bat. This is becoming a problem now.
I don't think it hit anybody. Did not see for sure. The bat disappeared behind the first base side of the grandstand, which wraps around the area behind home plate. There's a tree there as well that blocked my view. But Caden Grice has lost a bat in back-to-back games on that exact same play. The swing and miss. He's got a long one-handed finish, and he lets it go.
I really don't know what the problem is. I mean, now that it's 2 games in a row, it's something that you start to think about.
He's got a new bat. His first one was black dip. This one, light beige with a heavy layer of pine tar right below the logo. 1-2 count. Reed deals. A fastball away. Evens the count at 2-2. Grice singled in the first, a hot liner past Graham Pauley at second base, and came in to score on Rock Riggio's 2-run triple. 2-2. Reed fires. Grice rolls it over foul to the first base dugout. Newell slightly left of second base in center field. He takes 3 more steps towards Press Kavanaugh, the left fielder. Big gap in right center and space down the right field line as well. Harwich infield back. 2-2 pitch. Grice swings and misses. Strike 3.
Now batting for the Anglers, the first baseman from Georgia Southern, number 7.
Chatham has struck out 6 times. And Carlson Reed on the bump has recorded 7 outs.
He's using his locations very well, especially towards left-handed hitters, which is a mainstay in this Chatham lineup.
Noah Ledford in the left-handed box. The first pitch. Low and inside. 1-0. Ledford was Reed's first strikeout of the ball game. The pitcher deals and misses low. There's no action down the right field line. A couple Harwich bullpen arms clad in sweatshirts doing some light stretching. Reed kicks and deals. Puts a changeup on the outer corner. It's already back on the bump. Starts the windup. The pitch. A fastball at the knees. Strike two. Reed back to his quick pacing. He gets the ball, steps on the mound, and starts the windup. 2-2. Ledford swings and misses. A very aggressive cut with 2 strikes. Noah Ledford lost his balance after finishing his swing.
A 92-mile-an-hour heater outside. Ledford wanted to swing for the fences. That's now.
You got to count. You got to count.
That's 7 strikeouts, Ian.
7 of the 8 outs. First pitch to Lyle Miller Green. Slider, called strike, outside corner.
We know that Chatham is a team prone to strikeouts. They lead the league as a team, but you can sort of gloss it over when you're up 4-0 thanks to an offensive explosion.
Deal 1. Miller Green off the handle and into center field. A base hit. Nick Goodwin, the shortstop, watched the baseball fly past him. Not the greatest contact from Lyle Miller Green, but his strong wrist helped it through the infield.
Lyle Miller Green had his first hit last game of the summer against Orleans, 1 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. But a guy who led Chatham in hits last season, now on a bit of a 2-game hitting streak.
Miller Green's been on base twice. Here's left-handed hitting Marcus Brown. First pitch swing. A pop-up into foul territory behind the third baseline. Is the B still? The B is still on the board. It has not moved in about, what, the first 4 to 5 minutes of the inning?
Ever since Caden Grice lost his bat.
Reed gets the sign from Levens. Miller Green leads off first. The pitcher throws over, and Miller Green flops back to the bag.
The B is currently on a dial, clinging to it for life.
It's been clinging there for a while, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
0-1 count to Brown. Reed fires. Runner takes off. Levens drops the ball in the transfer. Pitch was a called strike. The count to Brown, 0-2. Miller Green got a slightly late jump, but the Harwich catcher couldn't throw the ball down. He dropped it switching hands.
The Harwich infield also had a late jump. Goodwin and Smith didn't get to second base until Levens had the ball.
0-2 count to Brown. Reed a long check of second. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3.
Make sure to get your 50-50 ticket. You'll see Jack with the orange shirt. He's got all your numbers. Trevor Martin also selling them.
An absolute anomaly from Carlson Reed. He gives up 4 runs in the bottom of the first inning, but he has struck out 8 Chatham batters through 3 frames. The A's had 4 runs on 3 hits in the bottom of the first. Haven't done anything since. Lyle Miller Green stranded after his 2-out single, and Chatham goes down with just that 1 hit in the book. Joe Puccio takes over on play-by-play in the top of the 4th. The Anglers lead the Mariners 4-0.
Sports Radio, play-by-play. Go A's! Chatham on GRC. What I want. What I got, full stock of thoughts and dreams to scatter. When you pull
Top of the fourth inning here at Veterans Field. Chatham with a 4-0 lead over Harwich. A strong first 3 innings for the A's that includes 4 runs on 4 hits. Alongside Ian Unsworth, I'm Joe Puccio. Brock Wilkin, Joe Vetrano, and Graham Pauly due up for Harwich in the top of the fourth. But Ian, we're also joined by a very special guest, a member of the 2021 Chatham broadcast booth, Emmanuel Berbari. E-Man, welcome back.
Thanks for having me, guys.
First pitch to Brock Wilkin. Fastball called strike on the outside corner, 0-1.
Very special guest. A bit of an overstatement there, but appreciate you guys letting me stop by.
Well, you came for a good game.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, 4-0 lead, 0-1 pitch. Slider swung on and missed. Wilkin hacks at it 0-2. So, E-Man, tell everyone, I mean, we, obviously, Ian and I know where we can listen to you, but for the Chatham audience, where can we listen to you?
So, I'm doing Hudson Valley Renegades games, Yankees High A team.
0-2, fastball misses high and away.
And then part-time on WFAN in the city. Everyone took off this past week, so heard me more than once. So, when people take off, slide in.
Regalado lifts his leg, deals. Ground ball left side, foul.
I guess we'll start. Before we get into you, Eamon, I wanted to hear what you think of Brock Wilkin. Reigning Cape League MVP, you saw him a decent amount last year.
Imposing presence. I'm just looking down at him right now. Big righty hitter, a lot of power, and he did a lot to Chatham last year.
1-2, high drive, left field. Garibay runs back. It's over his head and gone.
Wow.
I mean, you can't script it any better than that. Brock Wilkin trots around the bases. Cuts into Chatham's lead. It's 4-1 Anglers in the top of the fourth. Do you have some special power? What was that about?
Imposing righty hitter is right on that occasion, I guess. Brock Wilkin was heeding the words.
Emmanuel Berbari hops on the mic for one batter. And Brock Wilkin brings back the 2021 Brock Wilkin.
If we want pitching again, I better leave, because when I showed up, Chatham scored 4 runs.
First pitch to Joe Vetrano, ground ball up the middle. Riggio fields it to his right, throws over to first. Vetrano's out. Ball scooped into Riggio's palm. That's out number 1.
It is great to look out at Veterans Field again. You guys are sounding great.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
What's what was it like? I mean, being up here, broadcasting for a full summer. Ian and I are almost halfway through it, but what are some of the best memories you had throughout the year? First pitch to Graham Pauly, another ground ball in the hole. Riggio scoops it, just throws it in, and, well, goes into Nick Regalado's glove. Rock Riggio tried his best in shallow right field.
Have to like the effort, but Rock Riggio had no clue where he was looking and threw the ball as best he could.
Well, to answer the question, we never got a bumblebee on the audio mixer, so I'm not sure if we can quite match that experience, but I think my favorite part was having half the games here, because Veterans Field has just such a majestic feel to it. You guys know it looking out.
David Smith, check swing, pitch in the dirt. Travinsky blocks it.
And some of the favorite memories were some big Chatham innings at Veterans Field, and later on as the season goes, the atmosphere just gets more and more electric.
Well, we saw roughly 3,500 fans here for the 4th of July. Regalado's 1-0. Foul back off the home plate umpire. Count's even at 1-1.
See, we were at Orleans for the 4th, so you guys got a home 4th of July game. That's a perk.
We also got the best sunset here that I've seen yet. The pink and the purple down the right field, and then the sky went pitch black, and there were fireworks in multiple spots in the ballpark.
I'm glad you mentioned Cape Cod sunsets, because that had to be a top favorite aspect of looking out, watching Chatham baseball.
Regalado's 1-1. Slider just misses outside. 2-1 to David Smith.
I've considered waking up for a sunrise.
Yeah, that's insane.
Don't know when that's going to happen yet, but it's going to happen.
You'll get yourself out of bed.
2-1. Hot foul over the screen. Just offset to the press box. 2-2. Yeah, I don't know if the sunrise is on my agenda. I'm still good with the sunset. That's cool.
Ask Dan. I think he'll be up. He'll accompany you.
Regalado stares in at Travinsky. LSU's catcher gets the sign.
The bumblebee is alive.
How about that?
It flew off the board right in front of my face.
A premature death.
I thought that the bumblebee had died on one of the radio dials. And somehow, I guess it just needed a quick power nap. We all need those once in a while.
It must have done a chin-up to climb on top of the knob
and fly away.
2-2 David Smith. Change-up just misses outside. The count runs full.
So the death was greatly exaggerated. We can put it that way.
It played us for fools, that's for sure. It's the best disappearing act I've ever seen.
Full count 1-0 pitch. Line fouled on the third base line. David Smith broke his back. So sunsets, the view. What else a part of the Chatham A's broadcasting experience do you enjoy?
I think I enjoyed just being here and working with Ben Shulman, of course, my broadcast partner last summer. You guys probably get to know that as the season moves along. It's the company you share that makes the experience fun. So I think working with Ben was a top experience. I'm trying to think of something funny I could give you guys on top of sunsets. And
3-2 ground ball left side. Castagnazzi fields it over to Riggio. Throw to first. Not in time. David Smith beats out a double play ball. The inning stays alive. Maybe this would be a better question. What have you learned sitting in these same seats that Ian and I are currently sitting in that have helped you both with Hudson Valley and at WFAN?
Wow, great question. I think something that Dan taught me and has probably told you guys from time to time, if you try to cover everything, you end up covering nothing. That was one of the more thoughtful quotes I got from the Dan Duva experience last summer, and it applies to everything. You know, you do games as you move along, you do shows, and sometimes you just got to go with the flow and roll with what's working.
First pitch to Tatum Levens. Fastball down the heart for strike one. He's left-handed swinging catcher who struck out looking at second.
So if you find a good topic, you find a good topic that you're talking about mid-inning, you don't have to try to get to things you planned to get in. Just go with what's working and go with the flow.
0-1. Fastball misses inside, bounces off the home plate umpire. Regalado picks it up in front of the mound. David Smith takes second.
And also, like, we're talking about Cape League views and games, like games in front of you. So, like, there's so much that can be done without looking down at your scorebook or everything you prepared. Just take it in, soak it all in, and that's something I certainly learned.
This has definitely been a baseball game of anomalies. There have been so many random plays happening today where Grice loses the bat. Lavari gets hit in the jaw on a random throw. Even that last pitch where the ball gets past Travinsky and bounces off the umpire. What was the weirdest thing you saw baseball-wise in the Cape League?
Wow. I may need to take a picture, too, to think of this one.
Regalado comes set, but Levens calls time. He doesn't want E-Man to think.
Well, one of the memories that was funny is Cape League instituted the rule that there were no extra innings last year.
1-1 pitch, misses outside, 2-1.
And this wasn't necessarily just a game experience, but a broadcast experience. Opener, first game of the season, and I falsely claim we're going to extra innings.
Regalado deals. Change up. Misses outside, 3-1.
And I do think a couple of the Chatham players thought they were going to extra innings too, because they were waltzing off the field. I believe it was a strikeout to end the bottom of the ninth inning on the road, and everyone was fired up. Free baseball, as they say.
Regalado's 3-1. Missed outside for ball 4.
And I basically said 9 innings, not enough. Well, 9 innings was enough, because it was the first of many ties throughout the 2021 season. I believe YD led the league in ties, though. They had something near 10 ties. Chatham had a few of them, but that was the first of many ties throughout the league, and a tie I did not know happened until 2 minutes later when I was informed that it happened, and backtracked my recent comment.
There have been 32 ties in the league this year. Bourne leads everyone with 5.
Okay. Not near YD.
First pitch to Will Hameter. Change up. Missed outside at the knees. 1-0.
But the tie is very strange. Ending... Chatham's had 2 against Hyannis. One was the second of a 7. There was a 7-7 doubleheader. The second game ended in a tie.
1-0.
Strange feeling.
Fastball misses outside, 2-0.
Yeah, it's like a, you know how they say glass half full, glass half empty? You can't quite put your finger on the tie. It's a lack of fulfillment.
So, E-Man, one question I have for you, obviously, being here in Chatham, play-by-play, Hudson Valley, play-by-play, WFAN, the complete other side of the aisle, doing talk radio. What's that experience been like, and how have the two worlds either meshed or maybe separated?
And how many of the jingles do you know?
Yeah, that's the funniest part, which I joked with Dan about, is I had an extra appreciation for the Chatham jingles mirroring the WFAN jingles. So we joked before my first show that, oh, I'm already pro with the jingles.
Yeah.
But it's been a lot of fun. You know, I grew up listening to FAN and kind of hanging on the host's words after big games, listening, and it was like appointment material. So I definitely had that appreciation heading in, but it's been fun, and there are similarities that you can draw between the two games and shows.
2-0 to Hammeter. Fastball called strike right after Dennis Cook met with the Chatham starter. 2-1.
Kind of how you structure things, how you weave in and out of things, how you determine how much time you have. You know, you're at the top of the hour and you got a call. What's a topic? Do I weave this in? Do I not weave it in?
2-1. Ground ball up the middle. Marcus Brown fields it. Throws on the run. In time. Will Hammeter set down for out number 3. E-Man, don't go anywhere.
Ooh,
stay here. Stay here as we transition to the bottom of the 4th inning, because I think that this is a riveting conversation. I mean, WFAN, top station in the country. You have all these different things going on, right? Callers, top of the hour, all that stuff. Callers is one thing that I'm always interested in. Do you have any wacky New York callers?
That's been part of the experience, is learning how to respectfully decline certain people. You don't want to come off as harsh or rude, but if someone comes on overbearing to you, well, how do you respond to that? And that's part of the interesting back and forth with FAN callers, is figuring out exactly how long you let them go. When I'm doing an overnight, I'll go with certain callers for 6-7 minutes at a time. There's more time. There's more space. There aren't necessarily 5 callers at a time at any given part of the overnight. So you want to give callers their due. Also, it's how they make it, because they'll come on if they're offering something, it's great. But I remember we had a show right after baseball. Didn't look like it was going to happen, at least until June. The lockout had kind of been prolonged. The first deadline wasn't met. And I was on the night after that first deadline wasn't met, and we really didn't think there would be baseball. Thankfully, there has been. But the first caller I got out of the monologue basically said, you know, if you don't overestimate the player's value in this back and forth, then I have no reason to listen to you ever again, because you're not important. And we started kind of going back and forth, and it was an interesting learning experience with someone coming on and basically saying, you have no value. So how long do you keep that caller going? How do you skip that topic? Right. You get very interesting people in the overnight, and I found that. But I do love when you have a good sports conversation back and forth and you can drag it 7-8 minutes, because it almost acts like a co-host at points, the caller.
Bottom of the 4th starts with Rock Riggio. Swinging from the left side, the second baseman for Chatham. A 4-1 lead for the A's. First pitch. Slider misses high and away, ball 1. Joe Puccio, Ian Unsworth, and Emmanuel Berbari from the 2021 Chatham A's broadcast booth. All we need is Schulman to get over here.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I guess he's a little too busy for us nowadays. 1-0. Swing and a miss. Riggio in front of a changeup, 1-1.
I shot him a text today telling him I'd be here, and he said that the offer was open to stay in the place across the street we stayed last year. I believe you guys are there.
There's no way we could fit 3 people, especially someone of your stature,
1-1
in that apartment.
Fastball misses low and inside, 2-1. Our apartment is above a garage.
Right.
And
it's a great place. It works perfectly for us.
Oh, it's great.
There's 2 beds this year.
Oh, there are?
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
See, you guys have everything better. From the apartment to the games to everything.
2-1. Changeup in there for strike 2.
Would you like to describe your living arrangement last year in terms of beds?
So Ben and I did a trade-off, much like you guys were swapping play-by-play in color. You know, I would take the bed half the time. He would take the pull-out half the time.
2-2. Slider misses outside. Full count to Riggio.
And it was a challenge to make everything work. It was great, but we had to, especially, you know, I'm a 6'4" human being, just figuring that all out.
Full count offering. High drive, right field, trails foul and out of play.
But one thing I know for sure is you cannot fit a third person there. So Ben was like, I'm going to try to make it up there, but if making it up there was completely dependent on staying there, probably wouldn't work out.
3-2 pitch. Ground ball right side. Joe Vitrano fields it, steps on the bag himself. Retires a speedy Rock Riggio for out number 1.
We've been talking about Ben a lot recently because of his color blindness.
Right.
Did you have difficulty explaining to him, hey, you shouldn't wear this shirt with that set of pants?
I think he was so experienced in the color blindness.
First pitch to Travinski. Fastball called strike at the knees, 0-1.
Like he had collected so much colorblind experience by the time we met. You know, 21 years of experience.
0-1. Fastball skips in the dirt.
So he actually had a surprisingly great taste in what to wear. I never had to explain that to him. Did have to explain the sunset from time to time. Was it pink? Was it purple?
1-1. Check swing. Pitch missed outside, no appeal.
The remark that Joe made earlier today, you look at the snack shack behind the first base dugout, it's dark green.
2-1. Ground ball left side into Paulie's glove. Throws it from the shortstop hole and gets him. Hayden Travinski is set down for out number 2.
That was something I learned from Dan as well. Meaningful description. You know, sometimes I'd be like, oh, the snack shack is painted in green. It had nothing to do with what I was talking about at the time. So how do you fit in description in the right ways?
And what Joe said about colorblindness is, for Joe, for myself, we look at the snack shack, it's green. But Ben has to use his sense of innate, I guess,
innate's the right word.
Innate estimation and figure out what color the snack shack is. It's rather remarkable.
First pitch to Johnny Castagnazzi, called strike on the outside corner.
I think Ben could still appreciate a good sunset, but you wouldn't necessarily have him pointing out exactly which color is which.
0-1 to the righty. Misses high and inside, 1-1. So, E-Man, one question that's on my mind. The Chatham experience is a big part of this organization. What does the Chatham experience mean to you? Before that, 1-1. Fastball misses high and away, 2-1.
I think the Chatham experience was, circling back to what we talked to before, it was the people you spent it with. Like coming back here is amazing, and you look at Veterans Field.
2-1. Fastball fouled over the screen, count even at 2-2.
But it feels like family when you come back up here and you see familiar faces and you come back in a place that you basically called home for a summer.
2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Castagnazzi set down on strikes for the final out.
Well, appreciate you guys having me.
Well, E-Man, hey, anytime you're up here in the booth, you're more than welcome to grab that spare headset.
Keep up the great work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Keep going strong. Second half of the year.
Will do, and we're almost getting to the second half of this ball game. Chatham with a 4-1 lead over Harwich as we go to the top of the 5th. No runs on no hits, no errors, and no men left stranded. E-Man, thank you so much for joining us. Top of the 5th coming up next on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Chatham on TRC, Cape Cod.
You get a shiver in the dark, it's raining in the park, but meantime, sound of the river, you stop and you hold everything. Band is blowing Dixie, double fall time. You feel alright when you hear the music ring. Well, now you step inside, but you don't see too many faces. Coming
Top of the 5th inning here at Veterans Field. The Anglers with a 4-1 lead over the Harwich Mariners. With Ian Unsworth, I'm Joe Puccio. Top of the order for Harwich, Press Kavanaugh, Nick Goodwin, and Chris Newell against Chatham starter Nick Regalado. First pitch to the lefty, grounded up the middle. Marcus Brown fields it towards the second base bag, fires over to first. He got him. Press Kavanaugh was sprinting down the first base line, but Marcus Brown's rocket arm sets him down for out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the top of the 5th. With that, Ian, let's check on some MLB scores presented by Chatham Bars Inn, New England's premier oceanfront resort.
Well, a former A has led off the Royals-Astros game with a bang. Whit Merrifield, a solo shot. He's hitting leadoff for Kansas City.
First pitch to Nick Goodwin. Slider skips in the dirt, ball 1.
And Jeremy Pena, another Chatham alum, is hitting second for Houston.
Nick Goodwin swings from the right side. Kansas State shortstop. 1-0 pitch. Fastball called strike at the knees. 1-1. Goodwin standing in the back of that box with his right foot on the chalk. Regalado lifts his leg. 1-1. Slider misses outside. Ball 2.
Joe, your Yankees are in the top of the 1st against the Pirates. No score.
Here we go. A lot of baseball left. Regalado's 2-1. Swing and a miss. Fastball was low and inside. Goodwin took a whack at it. Came up empty. 2-2.
Nationals and Phils tied at 1 apiece. Josiah Gray, another former Angler, on the bump for Washington.
Pitch. Fastball misses outside. Count runs full.
Gray's gone through 4 innings. He struck out 8 Phils.
Wow. The throwback to Regalado bounced out of his glove. The righty from Florida Southwestern lost his hat. Puts it back on his head. Comes set on the mound. 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Regalado dials up an inside changeup. 2 up, 2 down in the top of the 5th.
Couple other scores, Joe. The Rays are taking it to the Red Sox right now at Fenway. 4-0 Tampa in the bottom of the 3rd. Tigers beat the Guardians 8-2 in an afternoon matchup.
Chris Newell, left-handed center fielder from Virginia. First pitch. Fastball misses away. 1-0.
Interesting late game tonight as well. Rockies-Dodgers.
Good battle between some NL West foes. 1-0. Grounded foul towards Harwich's dugout. Counts even at 1-1.
That'll wrap up our check of Major League scores presented by Chatham Bars Inn, New England's premier oceanfront resort.
Yanks and Buccos at PNC Park. That's also a gorgeous field. Up there with Veterans Field, I'll say that. 1-1. High drive, right field. It is a foul ball. Goes on the hill. The problem is that it went over Harwich's bullpen, right over the right-handed relief pitcher getting ready to work.
The wind's still swirling today. The center field flag is blowing towards the left field foul pole.
Newell stands back in, down 1-2 in the count. Pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Nick Regalado with 2 strikeouts in the 5th inning puts his game total up to 6, and that does it for the 5th. No runs on no hits, no errors, and no men left stranded. We're halfway there on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
The Cape's leader, sports radio, play-by-play. Go A's! Chatham on TIC, Cape Cod. Oh, halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer. Take my hand, we'll make it, I swear. Oh, living on a prayer. Johnny's got his 6-string high. Now he's holding in what he used to make it talk.
We're halfway there at Veterans Field. Chatham has a 4-1 lead over the Harwich Mariners. Alongside Ian Unsworth, I'm Joe Puccio. Top of the order for the Anglers. Guy Garibay gets things going against the righty Carlson Reed. First pitch. Slider misses outside for ball 1. Ian, we were sort of talking off the air. Outside of the bottom of the first, this is the most Chatham A's game ever. 1-0. Fastball in the zone, strike 1.
Things have returned to the norm. A lot of strikeouts, not a ton of production offensively.
1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Garibay fans on a fastball low and outside, 1-2.
Carlson Reed only went 4 or more innings 4 times at West Virginia. He appeared in 18 games.
1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 94 miles an hour. That's the 10th strikeout of the game for Carlson Reed. And that's out number 1 here in the bottom of the 5th. So you were saying a lot of strikeouts?
Well, he only had 42 at West Virginia compared to 20 walks. Only 2 games with 5 or more strikeouts for the Mountaineers.
First pitch to the left-handed Cooper Ingle. First pitch skips in the dirt. Ball 1. So you're telling me that he's almost matched a quarter of his West Virginia totals in this game alone.
He's 2 strikeouts away from tying his Cape League season total.
The 1-0 skips in the dirt all the way to the backstop. 2-0 on the Clemson DH. Cooper Ingle is just one of 2 Chatham A's who have not struck out yet. Ingle 0 for 1 with a walk in the first. He came around to score in that inning. 2-0. Fastball. Pounds the glove. Strike 1.
The Harwich pitching staff struck Chatham out 19 times at White House Field.
2-1 pitch. Fastball grounded off of Ingle's foot. Count even at 2-2.
So it's not like this is some anomaly.
Although Chatham has struck out 10 times so far, 4 runs in the first gives him the lead. 2-2. Change-up misses high. Count runs full. Guy Garibay led things off with a home run. Cooper Ingle then walked. Grice had a single. Lyle Miller Green had a walk. Rock Riggio cleared the bases with a 3 RBI triple. 3-2. Fouled back to the screen. The only other scoring we had was that Brock Wilken home run that Emmanuel Barbari almost, well, pretty much put into prophecy. 3-2. Fastball skips in the dirt for ball 4. Second time that Cooper Ingle has walked today, the team leader in bases on balls.
That has to be the best crystal ball, magic gypsy lamp moment that we've had on the broadcast all year.
Oh, easily.
E-Man comes on. I ask him for his impressions of Brock Wilken. I mean, a great player, but having sort of what you'd call a down second year after winning Cape League MVP last season. And yeah, comes back from not making the cut for Team USA. Holy cow.
It was just so funny because E-Man was like, yeah, big, powerful right-handed bat. Gadoosh! And the baseball just flies into the trees in left field.
I don't know if it made that sound effect.
I think it was the ball flew. Something like that. Well, after Ian and I debate on what sound effect Brock Wilken's home run made, Harwich will most likely make a change on the mound. Harwich's skipper, Steve Engler, is on the mound and calls on for a right-hander in the bullpen. It's time for a Chatham Bars In call to the bullpen. Harwich makes the first chess move in the terms of relief pitchers. We're here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Chatham has a 4-1 lead with 1 out and a runner on first.
Chatham on TRZ, Cape Cod.
for a Chatham Barzin call to the bullpen. Harwich makes the first move, brings out right-hander Gage Zeal. He wears number 32. He stands 6 feet tall, 212 pounds. Just wrapped up his freshman season at Miami of Florida by way of Rochester, New York. So far this season with the Mariners, 5 1/3 innings. He's given up 5 hits, 6 strikeouts, and a walk. An ERA of 1.68. The first batter he faces is Caden Grice, left-handed center fielder, who is 1 for 2 today with a single in the first inning. Gage Zeal comes in relief for Carlson Reed, who threw 4 1/3, gave up 4 runs on 4 hits, 10 strikeouts, and 3 walks. Zeal comes set, hands the belt. First pitch, cut on and missed. Grice behind on 92-mile-an-hour heater, 0-1.
Zeal, a 2-pitch guy, fastball slider. Average heater velocity at about 93.5 miles per hour.
Well, that radar gun was almost spot on for the first pitch. Zeal comes set with a runner on first. Takes a deep breath, looks home, 0-1. Skips in the dirt, bounces to the left, all the way towards Chatham's dugout. Engel takes a hard round at second base. Tatum Levis picks up the baseball in front of Matt Hogan and Marcus Brown, standing on top of Chatham's dugout on the first step. Wild pitch moves Cooper Engel to second base.
In front of the Chatham dugout is a quote-unquote barrier railing. It's outlined in foam padding, but in between, it's just netting like you see behind home plate.
Righty on lefty matchup. Zeal looks towards second. Delivers. Swing and a miss. That heater at 94. Counts at 1-2.
The point being, Levins did a feet first slide into the Chatham dugout and almost made contact, cleat contact with Marcus Brown.
Brown gets back into the left-handed batter's box, puts the bat above his left shoulder. His black dip bat wiggles back and forth. Zeal gets the sign, fidgets with the ball in his glove. Takes 2 glances towards second, pitches. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Zeal breaks out the slider. The 11th angler set down on strikes. Punch out number 1 for Gage Zeal. That's out number 2 here in the bottom of the 5th. And that brings up the switch hitter, Noah Ledford. Stands in on the left side. Runner on second, 2 gone. Chatham with a 4-1 lead. Zeal peers in. Levis throws down digits. The Rochester native comes set on the mound. First pitch, swing and a miss. 86-mile-an-hour slider to Noah Ledford. The first baseman fans on it, 0-1.
I think Caden Grice and a number of the ACC guys in the Chatham dugout at least have some knowledge of Zeal. He pitched in 30 games for Miami this year.
Zeal hands at the belt, lifts his leg, fires. Ground ball, first base side. Vetrano scoops it up, steps on the bag himself to retire the side. Noah Ledford out on a ground ball to the fellow first baseman. A pitching change in the mid-inning. Carlson Reed struck out the first batter, Guy Garibay, then walked Cooper Engel. Then Gage Zeal came in, struck out Caden Grice, and Noah Ledford ground out to first base. That does it for the 5th inning. Top of the 6th coming up next. Time for the top of the 6th here at Veterans Field. Chatham has a 4-1 lead and turns to its bullpen to get the job done. Alongside Ian Unsworth, I'm Joe Puccio. From one Florida Southwestern State Buccaneer to another. Rather, this one's a Nova Southeastern Wildcat. This is Carlos Ray, left-handed reliever from Miami, just like the starter, Nicholas Regalado. First batter he faces, right-handed Brock Wilken. First pitch, fastball misses inside. Carlos Ray almost fell off the mound after that pitch. An obscure start to this relief outing for Carlos Ray. He comes set with his hands held high. Sweeps the dirt in front of him, 1-0. Fastball, this is low and in, 2-0.
On the first pitch, it seemed as if Ray's landing foot, the front right foot, which he plants, slightly slipped out from underneath him.
Ray comes set for the 2-0. Foul ball over the screen towards the bathrooms here at Veterans Field.
And that can happen if a new pitcher comes in the ball game. Usually guys have their landing spots. You'll see holes in the mound after 2 or 3 innings of the same consecutive pitcher because they land in the same spot every time.
Ray lifts his leg, 2-1. Line to center field. Grice runs in. He can't get there. The baseball falls in front of him. Second hit of the ball game for Brock Wilken. He leads off the 6th inning with a single.
Grice got a late read on that ball. It fell about a foot in front of him.
Carlos Ray comes into this appearance with 7 1/3 under his belt. Giving up 8 hits, an ERA of 4.90, 6 strikeouts and 5 walks. Carlos Ray, a left-handed pitcher who just wrapped up his sophomore season at Nova Southeastern. Lefty on lefty battle. First pitch to Joe Vetrano. Slider misses away for ball 1. The Cape League MVP last season, Brock Wilken, now 2 for 3 today as he stands on first base in his high blue and red socks. Carlos Ray comes set from the left side of the rubber. He deals. Fastball misses outside, 2-0. Carlos Ray digs in to the rubber with his back left foot. He gets the sign, holds his hands at his chest, takes a deep breath, goes home. Fastball misses high. Now 3-0 to Joe Vetrano, who is 0 for 2 today with 2 groundouts. The first one to the shortstop, the second one to the second baseman. Takes 1 pat of home plate, shows Ray the bat. Ray takes his time, 3-0. Fastball misses low and away. Travinsky has to block it for ball 4. Wilken moves into scoring position, and Joe Vetrano gets on with a walk. Tough start for Carlos Ray out of the bullpen. Nick Regalado pitched 5 innings, gave up 4 hits, 1 earned run. So here is the Duke third baseman, Graham Pauley, swinging from the left side. Chatham's defense comes in. Mostly Noah Ledford in the corner. First pitch, fastball called strike. Catches the top part of the zone. No bunt attempt from Pauley, so Noah Ledford gets back to his normal first base position.
Castagnazzi playing well off the third baseline, close to the cutout between the grass and dirt.
He has the athleticism to get to a ball down the line if he needs to. Ray looks towards second, does so twice. Fires home. Ground ball right side. Riggio fields it in the hole, throws over to first, sets down Graham Pauley. Both runners advance. Brock Wilken to third, Joe Vetrano to second. A soft ground ball to the left of Rock Riggio. No chance to turn 2 on the play. Riggio gets the safe out by throwing over to Noah Ledford. Graham Pauley set down for out number 1. Ian, let's have a check on some Cape League scores. This is presented to us by Sweet Tomatoes Pizza and our good friend Merrill.
Not a good day for offense in the Cape League, Joe.
First pitch to Devin Smith. Half swing, a sword swing from David Smith. Fastball at 91, 0-1.
Brewster and Katuitt, a 1-1 tie. Bourne and Hyannis, 1-1 in the bottom of the ninth. The Harbor Hawks have a runner on third, Mitch Jebb at the plate.
0-1 pitch. Fastball misses outside, count even at 1-1. Chatham's defense is not in on this play. Brown and Riggio playing in the normal shortstop second base spots, with Rock Riggio holding the runner. Ray, deep breath, 1-1 pitch. Foul back to the screen, 92-mile-an-hour fastball, counts at 1-2.
Hyannis and Bourne literally just went final, a 1-1 tie.
Wow. Tie number 6 for the Bravos.
We talked with Emmanuel Barbari about ties earlier. We've got 2 of them today.
My goodness.
Wareham leads Orleans 1-0, bottom of the 8th at Spillane Field.
Ray comes set, 1-2 pitch. Skips in the dirt inside. Travinsky gloves it. Ball bounces in front of home plate. Carlos Ray scoops it up. The runners stay at second and third.
Last other contest, YD up 3-2 on Falmouth in the top of the 9th. Joe, we've got the late game today.
Yeah, seems to be the case anytime the lights come on here at Veterans Field. Those ties, you know, as much as you'd rather have them be wins, they are a point in the standings. Doesn't hurt. Rays 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. David Smith can't catch up to the slider. Gets fooled by the lefty Carlos Ray. That's out number 2. Strikeout number 1 for Carlos Ray.
How many ties did I say there were?
Combined?
32, I believe it was. Now we've got 34.
My goodness. 34 combined ties. We're almost halfway through the Cape League season. First pitch to the lefty, Tatum Levis. First pitch, slider misses outside, 1-0. Tatum Levis, the catcher from Pitt, 0 for 1 today. A strikeout looking in the second and a walk in the fourth. Rays 1-0. Fastball, called strike. Tatum Levis drops his jaw. Walks outside of the left-handed batter's box with an even 1-1 count.
Just did some math. 15% of Cape League games played thus far have ended in ties.
That's not baseball. Extra innings is baseball. That's what every baseball fan, I imagine, would say that supports extra innings.
But ties have been around for a while in the Cape League, even before last year's COVID rules.
1-1. Fastball, misses low and away, 2-1.
There have been ties because fields without lights have to end early. The darkness takes over ball games. So Red Wilson Field, potentially Stony Brook, you can run into problems.
Ray, 2-1 pitch. Fastball misses high and in, 3-1.
Lowell Park as well. The test to see if the game's if it's too dark to play, you hit a baseball in the outfield, and if the outfielder drops the pop-up, well, your game's over.
Harwich with a big opportunity here to cut into Chatham's lead. 4-1 lead for the A's. Runners on second and third, 2 gone. Ray, the pitch. Swing and a miss. Tatum Levis can't hit a slider. Count runs full. Defense is back. Rock Riggio is playing in shallow right field as the second baseman. The runners aren't being held on. Ray shakes off a few signs, now nods. And time is called by Tatum Levis. 1 run on 5 hits, no errors for Harwich. 4 runs on 4 hits for the A's. Ray, deep breath, lifts his leg, fires. Flared, left center field. Garibay runs in, makes the catch. Guy Garibay and the Chatham A's get out of trouble. Carlos Ray takes off his blue hat and walks back to Chatham's dugout unscathed. No runs on just 1 hit. No errors and 2 men left stranded at the bag. Chatham has a 4-1 lead as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning here at Veterans Field. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Chatham A's Baseball.
Chatham A's on the air. Well, it was nearly summer, we sat on your roof.
Home half of the 6th inning here at Veterans Field. Chatham has a 4-1 lead over Harwich in a big-time East Division rivalry game. Alongside Ian Unsworth, I'm Joe Puccio. Lyle Miller Green, Marcus Brown, and Rock Riggio. 5, 6, 7 due up in Chatham's order against the right-handed Gage Zeal. Zeal is the relief pitcher for Carlos Reed. Came in for 2/3 of an inning, set down the only 2 batters he saw. Lyle Miller Green swings from the right side. Zeal from the windup. Foul back to the screen. 0-1. Lyle Miller Green is 1 for 1 today with a walk in the first and a single in the third. He came around to score on that walk. He was a part of Rock Riggio's base-clearing RBI triple. 0-1. Fastball. Called strike. Dots the outside corner. 0-2. That was a 3 RBI triple from Rock Riggio in the first. Rather a 2 from the OSU second baseman. 0-2 pitch. Fastball. Called strike 3 looking. Lyle Miller Green keeps the bat on his shoulder. He represents the 12th angler that's struck out today. Out number 1 here in the 6th. And now there's just 2 Chatham A's that haven't struck out yet today.
Only 2 of Chatham's strikeouts today have been looking.
1 gone. In stands the lefty Marcus Brown. First pitch. Fastball misses low and away. Ball 1. Marcus Brown, a strikeout victim twice today.
And Brown and Rusty Greer, Chatham's new hitting coach pregame, were working on some things.
1-0. Slider falls out of Levis's glove. 2-0.
They were talking about separation. That means getting your hands and the bat away from your back hip. You build the torque up in the swing. It creates more velocity.
Zeal comes set for the 2-0. Ground ball right side. David Smith throws over to first. Sets down Marcus Brown for out number 2. And Rusty Greer's impact, I spoke to Tom Holliday about this in the manager's show today. You know, there isn't going to be a grave impact on day 1. Rusty Greer is just trying to learn all these different hitters and what they need to work on. But anything can really help. I mean, having a 9-year MLB vet in that dugout certainly cannot hurt. 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. Chatham with a 4-1 lead. First pitch to the lefty, Rock Riggio. Swings at the first pitch, grounds it to first. Vetrano fields it, walks over to the bag, and steps on it. 3 straight half innings where Joe Vetrano has scooped up a ground ball and stepped on first base himself. That does it for the 6th. No runs on no hits, no errors, and no one left stranded. Let's go to the top of the 7th here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Chatham leads 4-1.
Chatham A's on the air.
Sun coming up over New York City. School bus driver in a traffic jam. Staring at the faces in a rearview mirror. Looking at the promise of the promised land. One kid dreams of fame and fortune. One kid helps pay the rent. One could end up going to prison. One just might be president. Only in America, dreaming in red, white, and blue.
3 innings to go here at Veterans Field. Chatham has a 4-1 lead over Harwich, aiming for a 2-game win streak that started on the 4th of July against Orleans. Alongside Ian Unsworth, I'm Joe Puccio. William Hameter is Harwich's first batter in the top of the 7th inning. He swings from the left side against the lefty, Carlos Ray. Quick defensive change. Rather a shift for Chatham to start off this half inning. Bunt defense. First pitch. Fastball at the knees, called the strike. Johnny Castagnazzi is playing in the baseline and now walks back to his regular third base position. Hameter did not square around a bunt in the first pitch. He puts the black dipped bat on his left shoulder. Ray lifts his leg, 0-1. Ground ball, left side. Carlos Ray fields it on 2 hops, throws over to first, guns him out. A slow roller to the left side. Took 2 hops to the right of the pitcher's mound. Carlos Ray threw a heater over to first base. Sets down Hameter for out number 1.
Sometimes pitchers leaving the mound to field baseballs can get frazzled or shuffle their feet an extra step, and you lose your rhythm. Carlos Ray took his time getting that baseball, leaned back, and put all of his momentum into the throw.
It beat Hameter by half a step. Noah Ledford had a stride off of first base that potentially helped Ray record out number 1 here in the top of the 7th. Carlos Ray and Aiden Travinsky are playing catch with some brand new baseballs. The lefty from Nova Southeastern gets the pearl that he likes. Order flips for Press Kavanaugh. Harwich's left fielder today, 0 for 3. Bats from the left side. First pitch. Swings to the first pitch. Fastball goes over the press box. 0-1.
Castagnazzi's in on the grass again. Every first pitch with these lefty bats, Tom Holliday is bringing his third baseman up to the cut.
0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Kavanaugh fans at a 90-mile-an-hour heater high and away. 0-2. Ray gets the sign, nods with his hands held high. Quick pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Carlos Ray didn't lift his leg. He had a stride off the rubber. Revved up a 90-mile-an-hour heater. That's out number 2. Press Kavanaugh walks back to the dugout.
That's the first time we've seen a Chatham pitcher pull that out.
And it works to Carlos Ray's benefit. 2 outs quickly. First a ground out back to Ray. And then Ray does it himself with 3 strikes. First pitch to the righty at Nick Goodwin. Takes a fastball outside, called strike. Ball falls out of Travinsky's glove. Walks it back to Carlos Ray on the mound.
Innovation from Carlos Ray. Not necessarily overwhelming velocity, but stuff like that keeps hitters off balance.
He normally sweeps his front leg and then raises it as he delivers towards home. Nick Goodwin calls time, readjusts his batting gloves. But on that strikeout, he just moved his front leg forward. Sort of a throw rather than a pitch. Ray lifts his leg. 0-1. Fastball misses high and outside. 1-1.
The beginning of his normal windup is extremely graceful, very unique.
1-1 pitch. Fastball misses high and away. 2-1. Nick Goodwin is 1 for 3 today. A single in the 3rd inning was left stranded on the base paths. Ray comes set, pitch. This is inside. Nick Goodwin dances out of the way. The ball trickles towards the backstop. 3-1 count to the K-State shortstop. The wind's blowing out towards right field, according to the American flag in center field. 70 degrees on a July 6th evening at Veterans Field. 3-1. Fastball misses high. Ball 4.
Either Travinsky got crossed up or he's not seeing the ball well. He's dropped multiple pitches in the at-bat.
We spoke to a lot of Chatham's catchers at the start of the year. The house in center field is white, so it doesn't serve as the greatest batter's eye or catcher's eye for that matter. But with the sun set at 8:52 p.m. Eastern, I don't know if that house is necessarily white with this pitch back with the dark blue sky. Lefty on lefty battle. First pitch to Chris Newell. Popped up left side. Castagnazzi and Garibay run, but run out of room. Ball lands foul in the parking lot. It's 0-1 to Chris Newell, Virginia's center fielder.
Some of Chatham's backstops with regards to catching the ball say they struggle picking up the spin. We've also seen lights have an impact on how people handle balls in the air.
Ray hands at the belt, takes a deep breath, fires towards first. Ledford has to make a catch in the baseline. Got off of first base to prevent a potential throwing error. 2 outs, runner on first. The lefty Chris Newell, who's 1 for 3 today, puts the black tipped bat on his left shoulder. 0-1, swing and a miss. High fastball. Newell swings through it, 0-2. Newell takes a few practice cuts outside of the box. Takes 2 bats of home plate. Ray gets the sign, hands at the belt, lifts his leg, fires. Fastball hits him. Chris Newell eats a fastball up by his chest. Looked as if it hit his leading right arm. But regardless, Nick Goodwin moves to first. Chris Newell gets on. 2 strikes, 2 outs, and Carlos Ray loses him.
Ray's fastball has arm side run, meaning it moves towards left-handed hitters. Newell reached out his bat. I couldn't tell if he was starting a swing or moving his arms to avoid the baseball. Heard a comment from the third base side dugout pick up on our crowd mic. I think it was Tom Holliday saying he swung, right?
Brock Wilkins stands in. Ducks on the pond. First and second rather. First pitch, cut on and miss for strike 1. Brock Wilkins had a home run in the 4th inning. Represents Harwich's lone run of the game. A big fly here would tie the game. 0-1 count, 2 away. Runners on first and second. Ray looks towards second base twice, a 3rd time, and fires home. Fastball, called strike. 0-2 count to Brock Wilkins.
Come on, best pitch of the night. Let's go.
Some communication from Chatham's dugout, giving words of encouragement to Carlos Ray. He glances towards Stravinsky to get the sign. Comes set, hands at the belt. Lifts his leg, deals. Slider misses inside. Wilkin bends out of the way, 1-2.
Ray's had trouble hitting the corners with 2 strikes.
Brock Wilkin, with a bat on his right shoulder, has silver Nike cleats. Rays 1-2. Change up, misses high and away. Counts it 2-2. Carlos Ray has to work. No signs from Harwich's third base coach. Another ball would potentially change that. Rays 2-2. Fastball misses high and away. Ray does a 360 on the mound. Count runs full. And the third base coach says, well, he puts 2 fists up. Doesn't say much. But expect the runners to be in motion. On a full count, 2-out pitch with runners on first and second. Brock Wilkin, 2 bats of home plate. Stares in towards Carlos Ray. The lefty comes set, hands at his blue belt. He deals. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Carlos Ray gets out of a huge jam. Punches out the reigning Cape League MVP with runners on base to end the top of the 7th. No runs on no hits, no errors, but 2 men left on base. It's time to stretch here at Veterans Field. Let's send things over to public address announcer Peter Burns.
Ray, Hannah, Margaret, Jane, Maisie, Preston, Charlotte, Delilah, Grace, and Vic. Are you ready? All right, on 3, a 1, a 2, a 3. Grace, Amelia, Charlotte, Preston, Ian.
We're through 6.5 here at Veterans Field. Get up and stretch on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Cape Cod Baseball Network and the A's. Sports Radio play-by-play. Chatham A's on the air.
Take me out to the ball game.
Well, we got through the first verse today. That's got to be some sort of record. 7th inning stretch is over. Chatham stands back up to the plate with a 4-1 lead over Harwich. With Ian Unsworth, I'm Joe Puccio. Hayden Travinsky gets things going. First pitch to the righty. Fastball right down the heart for strike one.
Joe, you said we got through the first verse?
Would that be the first line?
That's the first line of the song.
You're the music guy. I'm not. I mean, I like music, but you know the terminology better than I do. Zeal lifts his leg for the 0-1. Cut on and missed. Off speed. Fools Hayden Travinsky. 0-2.
Talk about 7th inning stretch. I barely had time to get out of my chair.
Zeal works quickly. Has his hands at the belt, takes a deep breath. 0-2. Fastball misses low and away for ball one. Hayden Travinsky 0 for 2 today. Punched out looking in the first, grounded out to third in the fourth. Defense in a normal alignment. The left side of the infield playing rather deep. Zeals 1-2. Fastball, strike three looking. Travinsky stares at home plate, pivots out of the right-handed batter's box, and walks back to Chatham's dugout. That is out number one here in the 7th. "13 strikeouts for the Harwich pitching staff. Johnny Castagnazzi gets ready to go. Righty on righty battle. First pitch. Fastball. This is low and inside. 1-0.
The A's are still averaging around 10.5 strikeouts per game.
The Mariners struck out the Anglers 19 times back on July 2nd. 1-0. Change up. This is low and away. Ball two.
And in game 2 at Veterans Field, Chatham batters struck out 9 times against Harwich Arms.
Zeal takes a step back, lifts his leg, and fires. Strike two. Rather, strike one. Castagnazzi fans on a 93-mile-an-hour heater. It's 2-1.
So 41 Chatham batters have struck out against Harwich pitchers in 3 games.
And yet Chatham has a 4-1 lead today. The wonders of baseball. 2-1. Fastball. Called strike on the outside corner. 2-2 now to Johnny Castagnazzi, who's punched out twice so far today, both times swinging. Zeal has his hands at his navy blue belt. He takes a deep breath, fidgets with the ball. 2-2. Change up misses outside. 3-2. Three-2 count with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th inning. The A's with a 4-1 lead over the M's. Zeal from the left side of the rubber. Deals from the windup. Swing and a miss. Strike three. Third strikeout of the game for Johnny Castagnazzi. That's out number 2 here in the 7th inning.
Chatham's new hitting coach, Rusty Greer, looks down and claps his hands. He's staring at the ground right now. Does he know what to make of these at-bats?
It's still early on in his tenure here with the Chatham coaching staff. Not sure just yet. First pitch to the lefty Guy Garibay. Takes a first pitch fastball, strike one. But here's the thing. You know, Chatham gets out to that early offensive explosion, gets 4 runs. Just lets their pitchers do the work. 0-1 pitch. Line left field. Right towards Kavanaugh. Makes the catch running into his left. That's out number 3, and that does it for the 7th inning. No runs on no hits, no errors, and no men left stranded. Just another one of those games where Chatham has a lot of strikeouts. 14 so far in today's game, but with that first inning, Chatham A's got out to a 4-0 lead, and Harwich has only scratched 1 run in this game. Chatham leads 4-1 as we start the top of the 8th inning here from Veterans Field. Ian Unsworth is back on play-by-play and takes us the way home right here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Sports Radio, play-by-play. Go A's! Chatham on TRC. I spent 20 years trying to get out of this place. I was looking for something I couldn't replace. I was running away from the only thing I've ever known. Like a blind dog without a bone, was a gypsy lost in the twilight zone. I hijacked the rainbow and crashed into a pot of gold. Been there, done that, I ain't looking back.
Top of the 8th at Veterans Field. Chatham a 4-1 lead over Harwich. Alongside Joe Puccio, I'm Ian Unsworth. 5, 6, 7 due up for the Mariners, starting with left-handed hitting first baseman Joe Vetrano. 0 for 2 with a walk in his last at-bat. He faces Nova Southeastern lefty Carlos Ray, who winds and fires. Puts a fastball in the outside corner. Strike 1. Ray back set, continuing a trend of quick pitching today. Here's the 0-1. Vetrano taps it foul behind home plate, off the shin protector of home plate umpire Brandon Johnson. He'll take a walk around the plate as Hayden Travinsky steps out in front and goes to chat with Carlos Ray, giving the home plate umpire an extra second to breathe. Defensive changes for Tom Holliday to begin the top of the 8th. Jake DeLeo goes into center field, and Caden Grice moves from center to first. Noah Ledford's out of the ball game. DeLeo will hit third in the next half inning for the A's. Ledford batted in the cleanup spot. He was 0 for 3. 0-2 count to Vetrano. Ray wipes off his right cheek with the jersey. Johnson calls time as Vetrano takes an extra second to get into the batter's box. Ray starts the windup, winds, deals. Slider low and outside. 1-2. As Carlos Ray's third inning of work. Nick Regalado started, went 5 innings of 1-run baseball. Here's the 1-2. Slider up and in, almost hits Vetrano. The BC first baseman had to spin out of the way. The breaking ball almost caught his front shoulder. And Joe Vetrano is 6'4", 230. That's a large human to be spinning like a top in the lefty box. Right side of the infield back, 2-2 count, the pitch. Vetrano pops it foul. Over the third base side concourse and off the house, aptly named the dugout. Glove next to the face of Ray. 2-2, he starts the windup. The pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Vetrano cuts, misses, and does a 360-degree spin on his way back to the first base dugout. That's Carlos Ray's 4th strikeout, first out at the top of the 8th. Here's Graham Pauley, left-handed hitter from Duke. The pitch. A called strike on the outer half. 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Pauley today 0 for 3. Next offering. Strike 2. Fastball outside corner. Almost identical pitches. Ray starts the windup. Here's the pitch. Fastball 6 inches off the plate to the left-handed hitting Pauley, who's 1 for 3. He reached on a single, but was out on a 5-4 fielder's choice. 1-2. Ray deals. Fastball outside. Paulie lunged for it, but kept the bat on his back shoulder. 2-2, 1 down. Chatham a 4-1 lead over Harwich. Ray fires. Paulie pops it up, shallow left side. Garibay trots after it and makes the catch a step in front of the left field foul line.
Garibay has shown his range all season long out in left field. I mean, obviously, we talked about Caden Grice being a center fielder that has motion. Jake DeLeo has quickness. But Guy Garibay gets from point A to point B very quickly and is a reliable left fielder, especially on baseballs towards the left field line.
David Smith in the right-handed hitting box. Lefty Ray deals. Misses up and out. Smith came in the ball game in the bottom of the first after Harwich's starting third baseman Kenny Lavari was hit in the face with a baseball. Here's the 1-0. Fastball high, ball 2. Lavari was standing next to third base and not looking at the baseball. Tatum Levins randomly threw it down to third after a wild pitch. 2-0. Here it is. Half swing and a miss. Strike 1. Smith got 3/4 of the way through his swing and then brought the bat back to his shoulder.
And that's because Ray is fooling these hitters with all the different pitch types.
Ray winds. A bunt. But Smith pops it back to the netting behind home plate. Late show from David Smith, counts 2-2.
Got to try something, right? I mean, Harwich with only 1 run on 5 hits. The only run they have is a solo home run from Brock Wilkin in the 4th.
Harwich has stranded 2 runners on base in the last 2 innings. 2-2, 2 outs. Ray deals. Fastball high. Count runs full. In the last half inning, Ray struck out Brock Wilkin, the reigning Cape League MVP, with runners on first and second. Stranded 2 in scoring position in the 6th. 3-2, the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. David Smith again indecisive, checking his swing 3/4 of the way through. Second strikeout for Carlos Ray in the 8th, and he puts down the Mariners 1-2-3. Last chance for Chatham to add some insurance. The A's lead the Mariners 4-1. You're listening to it on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Chatham on TRC, Cape Cod.
Chatham's last chance for runs. 4-1 A's in the bottom of the 8th. Alongside Joe Puccio, I'm Ian Unsworth. This game 22, the end of the first half of the Cape League season. Chatham with a win today can move into 4th. Will be even with Harwich on points, but have the head-to-head win. Here's the next pitch. First pitch to Cooper Ingle. Gage Zeal puts it at the knees for strike 1. Both teams would be 6-13-3, but Chatham's beaten Harwich twice. 0-1, here it is. Blowing outside.
That's the crazy part about this Cape League. I mean, we talked about Chatham, having an 8-game winless streak. All of a sudden, 2 potential wins, right? The win against Orleans, definite, but this one, potentially.
1-1. Ingle checks his swing. Appeal to third. Ryan Damari says Engel went around. 1-2 count to the designated hitter from Clemson, who's walked twice today. Scored on a wild pitch in the first.
So as I was saying, right now you have 2 potential wins. All of a sudden, you're in the playoffs if the season ended today. I just think it's crazy how 4 of the top 5 teams are in. You're never really out of it.
Zeal fiddles with the ball and fires. Engel taps a 87-mile-an-hour breaking ball off of Levins' leg and trickles foul behind home plate. Chatham has a home-and-home with Brewster after today's game. 7 o'clock start at Veterans Field tomorrow, and then a 5 o'clock early start at Stony Brook Field. Then on the 9th, another matchup with the Orleans Firebirds, who have been a constant presence in every angler's life over the past week. The 9th also the night of the military flyover and the Dan Duva Guy Benson reunion broadcast on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. 1-2, the pitch. Engel fouls a fastball behind home plate, 94.
I wonder what all the passionate listeners of the Cape Cod Baseball Network are going to feel if there's no Ian Unsworth and Joe Puccio on the mic.
It's 20 years of Cape Cod baseball. Get a reunion every 5. Zeal gets the sign from Levins. Starts the windup. The righty deals. Engel pops it foul. 3rd straight foul ball, and Engel stays alive. Count still 1-2. Engel, the first batter of the bottom of the 8th. Pitch black sky at Veterans Field. Some clouds in the distance behind center. Lights on. Harwich infield back. Outfield shaded to left field. Here's the 1-2. Engel hits a line drive to center. It drops for a base hit. Newell late by a step. Caught it on 1 hop. And Cooper Engel's on with a leadoff single.
That was a fastball inside part of the plate. Made solid contact with it, but with 2 strikes, he finds his way on first base.
Engel's 12th hit of the season. Passes the baton to his Clemson teammate, Caden Grice. Lefty batter, a single in the first. He scored on Rock Riggio's 2 RBI triple. Zeal from the stretch. Grice swings, rolls it over foul off the netting in front of the Harwich dugout. After his single in the first, Grice has struck out twice. Engel's knock was the first hit for Chatham since the 3rd inning, when Lyle Miller Green singled and was stranded on 2nd. Zeal, a deep breath, kicks, steals. Grice swings and misses at a high fastball. Down 0-2, was 93 above the letters. Jake DeLeo waits on deck, a defensive change in the last half inning. DeLeo's in center field. He moved Grice to first base. Harwich infield set at double play depth. Middle infielders pitch towards 2nd. Here's the 0-2. Fastball up, 1-2.
Grice wanted to go at it, threw his hands, a little bit of a mini swing.
Grice rocks back and forth in the left-handed batter's box. Waves a light beige bat behind the head. 1-2 count, runner on first. Zeal delivers. Inside pitch, it hits Caden Grice. A breaking ball got Caden Grice, not exactly sure where, but on a 1-2 where he brought the bat slightly off his shoulder, he then flipped it to the 3rd base dugout and trotted to first.
He was confident in his decision as well. Just sort of threw his bat over towards first base. Brandon Johnson came out, called time, says we hit by pitch. There was no doubt in Caden Grice's mind that he was beamed.
Grice chats with Rusty Greer, Chatham's new hitting coach, on first base, while Tatum Levins has a conversation with Gage Zeal. The catcher trots back behind the plate, and Jake DeLeo, his first at-bat today. DeLeo, a right-handed hitter from Georgia Tech. Zeal comes set. Engel waves at Bugs as he leads off second. The first pitch, DeLeo squares around and bunts it foul. A good pitch to bunt, a fastball on the outer half.
DeLeo has the wheels as well to go down first base and potentially beat this out.
DeLeo hit a solo home run in a 1-1 tie between Chatham and Harwich on July 2nd. Mariners and bunt defense, corners in. Here's the pitch. DeLeo swings, hits a two-hopper to second. Smith to short, the throw to first. In time, double play.
The right fielder from Oklahoma State, number 9, Lyle Miller.
Goodwin flipped a rocket to Vetrano and got the speedy DeLeo. Cooper Engel advances to third, 2 outs, and a man 90 feet away from scoring. Lyle Miller Green comes to the plate.
That double play ultimately just keeps Harwich in this game. If that is a base hit or anything else, it still allows Chatham to sort of break open here.
Zeal's first pitch. Miller Green, a late swing and miss. 93 down the chute.
Nobody's up in the pen for Chatham.
Zeal fiddles with the baseball, starts his windup and deals. Another swing and miss. 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Zeal came in the bottom of the 5th with 1 out, and he's pitched scoreless ball ever since. Chatham scored its 4 runs in the bottom of the 1st. Miller Green calls time before the 0-2. Carlson Reed, the Harwich starter, had 10 strikeouts. Zeal has 4. Starts the windup. Here's the 0-2. Slider in the dirt. Levens blocks it. Keeps Engel at third. Engel gets his lead in foul territory. Zeal winds, fires. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Miller Green strands a runner 90 feet from the dish. After 4 runs in the first, Chatham does nothing offensively, and the A's pitching and defense has to hold as Chatham hunts its 6th win of the season. Carlos Ray back on the bump for the top of the 9th. A 3-run advantage for Chatham. Last ups for Harwich next on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Chatham on TRZ, Cape Cod. I'm gonna wait till the midnight hour. That's when my love comes tumbling down. I'm gonna wait till the midnight hour when there's no one else around. I'm gonna take you, girl, and hold you and do all the things I told you in the midnight hour. Yes, I am. Oh, yes, I am. One more thing I just want to say right here. I'm gonna wait till the stars come out. See that twinkle?
Top of the 9th at Veterans Field. Chatham a 4-1 lead over Harwich. The A's with 4 runs on 5 hits. Harwich also with 5 hits, but just 1 run. Ian Unsworth, Joe Puccio to my left. 8-9-1 due up for Steve Englert and the Mariners. Starting with Tatum Levens, the catcher. It'll be a lefty on lefty matchup. Carlos Ray still in the ball game. This his 4th inning. He's tossed 3 innings of scoreless ball and left 4 runners stranded. The first pitch. Fastball skips in the right-handed batter's box. Chatham has Brian Holiday, its closer, warming up down the left field line.
I think this is potentially to see what you have in Carlos Ray.
It's 3 lefties due up. The pitch. Low and away. But it's Levens, Hamiter, and Kavanaugh, the first three batters, due up for Steve Englert. It would make sense to keep Ray in the ballgame.
Absolutely. He has proven why he should be in this ballgame.
He pitched a 1-2-3-8, struck out both Joe Vitrano and David Smith. 2-0 count to Levens. Ray deals. Misses low and outside, ball 3. No defensive changes for the A's. Straight up defensive alignment. 3-0. A called strike on the outside corner. Levens took it all the way. Tom Holliday says let him hit it. Makes sense as Levens is 3 for 28 this season. 3-1. Slightly low and outside. Base on balls for the Harwich catcher. Starts the top of the ninth.
Caden Grice goes to talk with Carlos Ray on the bump. Leadoff walk in the ninth. Dennis Cook has his clipboard out and looks towards Brian Holliday over there in the bullpen.
And Steve Englert moves the first chess piece in the Harwich order. Tommy Seidel pinch hits for William Hamiter. Swapping out a lefty bat for a righty. Both of them outfielders from Alabama. Seidel stands at the back chalk of the righty box. First pitch. Strike on the inside corner. Seidel's hitting .231. This is his 19th game in the Cape League. 4 doubles, a triple, and 2 home runs. Ray deals. Falls off the mound, but the pitch a strike on the outside corner. 0-2 count.
Second time he's done that today. 91-mile-an-hour heater. Wonder if he's trying to get a little more velo on it.
The Nova Southeastern lefty peers in. Seidel calls time with his right hand. Levens on first, not a base-stealing threat. Hasn't swiped one this year. Chatham infield set up to turn 2. Ray deals. Half swing, called strike 3. Home plate umpire Brandon Johnson says Seidel went around. It's the first out at the top of the ninth. It brings up the top of the order Press Kavanaugh, left-handed hitting left fielder. 0 for 4 today. Ray Wines fires. Late swing and miss. Carlos Ray working from the stretch with Levens on first. Castagnazzi behind the third baseline. Ray and Riggio pitched up the middle. The pitch. Pop back foul. Marcus Brown and Rock Riggio are pinched up the middle. Carlos Ray gets a new baseball and shrugs out his shoulders. Beige glove next to his right cheek. Brings it to his belt. He's set. Here's the 0-2. Up and in. It hits Kavanaugh square in the back. The second batter Carlos Ray's hit today. Right-handed hitting Nick Goodwin coming to the box. Dennis Cook raises his hat to the Chatham bullpen. And here he comes to the mound.
I was just going to say, here comes the chess match, right? About whether or not you want to leave Carlos Ray and see if he can get the job done, or bring in your trusty Yarman Brian Holliday.
Holliday, a guy who Tom Holliday said needed some more innings. They were going to try him out in differing roles, but for now, he's Chatham's closer. Coming in with a 3-run Anglers lead, but 2 men on base for Harwich. Chatham Barson called to the bullpen. Ray out, Holliday in. We'll have the rest of the information on the righty after this break.
Chatham on TRC, Cape Cod.
I get up in the evening and I ain't got nothing
Radio's on and I'm moving round the place. I check my look in the mirror. Wanna change my clothes, my hair, my face, and I ain't getting nowhere. I'm just living in a dump like this. There's something happening inside.
Chatham Barson called the bullpen, 1 out in the top of the 9th. Chatham a 4-1 lead over Harwich. And Brian Holiday, Chatham's closer, brought in to shut things down. Appearing in his 7th game, the most appearances for any A's pitcher. Holiday's thrown 7 1/3 innings, struck out 11, only walked 3, and only allowed 1 earned run.
He's got that 2-pitch mix, fastball and curveball. That curveball spins better than anyone on this team. He's gotten a lot of strikeouts with it because of it, but also the fastball in the low 90s is equally as effective.
Holiday faces the Kansas State shortstop, Nick Goodwin, right-handed hitter. 1 for 4 today with a single. The first pitch, a called strike. Fastball let her high. Levens on second. The catcher walked to start the inning, and Kavanaugh on first after a Carlos Ray hit him with a pitch. Holiday checks the runner on second. 0-1. Here he goes. It's a called strike on the outside corner. 87 miles an hour. Took a little bit of juice off the fastball. And Holiday's last appearance, he went 2 1/3 against the Bourne Braves, held him scoreless. He kicks, steals. Curveball lined into left field, a base hit. Garibay gets it on 2 hops. All runners advance 90 feet. It was hit squarely towards Guy Garibay. Not in either direction where Levens on second, who doesn't have great speed, could think about getting home.
A hard hit baseball too. Goodwin sat on that curveball and drove it.
Bases juice for Chris Newell. Holiday, the pitch. Fastball at the knees, strike 1. Newell's a left-handed hitting center fielder. Been on base twice today, a single in the first, hit by a pitch in the 7th. Holiday from the windup, the 0-1. Tapped foul, first base side. Off the plate, it rolled to the right of Newell's batter's box. Riggio and Grice having some fun in between first and second. Tom Holiday not all that pleased. Here's the pitch. Fastball gets over the glove of Travinski. Levens with a head-first slide, touches home. Travinski did not throw the ball to Brian Holiday. There was no play at the plate. So tying runner on second in Nick Goodwin. Press Kavanaugh on third. It's 4-2 Chatham. 1-2 count. Holiday deals. Curveball slightly outside. Travinski held it for 2 seconds before throwing it back to the pitcher. Holiday glove to the face. Newell takes his time getting in the box. The 2-2. Low and inside. Past Travinski again. Kavanaugh comes to the dish. He slides in safe. Chatham's lead whittled to 1. 2 wild pitches from Brian Holiday. The game's tying run, Nick Goodwin on third. And the go-ahead run in Chris Newell at the dish. Chatham's infield in. Full count pitch. Laced into center field. Base hit. Goodwin scores. Tie ball game. Jake DeLeo had no chance. A ball hit with plenty of topspin. Newell sped to first. DeLeo got it on a bounce. 1 down, top of the 9th. Brian Holiday blows the save.
What just happened?
Reigning Cape League MVP, Brock Wilkin in the righty box. The first pitch. Fastball low, ball 1. Newell on first with great speed. Stole 16 bases at Virginia this season, only caught twice. Double play gets Chatham out of the inning. Holiday comes set, fires. Fastball at the knees, a strike. Holiday peers in, Travinski with his head down. Now looks up and lays down signs. 1-1 count. The pitch. Wilkin pops it up over home plate, foul. A stunned silence has taken Veterans Field.
Pass ball, rather wild pitches, singles, runners moving all around. Chatham really lost this game.
1-2 pitch. Curveball low and away.
Should say they lost control of this game, not like a win-loss result, but really, I mean, they were in control ever since the bottom of the first inning.
Wilkin taps home plate. Chatham scored 4 runs in the bottom of the first. Here's the 2-2. Laced back foul behind home plate. Chatham scored 4 runs in the bottom of the first on a Guy Garibay solo shot. Cooper Ingle came in on a wild pitch, and Rock Riggio had a 2 RBI triple. Wilkin leans the bat on his back shoulder. Toes on the inside chalk of the righty box. 2-2 count. Here's the pitch. Newell takes off. Travinski throws down, and the runner slides in safe. Pitch was a fastball high and outside. Counts full.
So now it moves Newell into scoring position for the reigning Cape League MVP, who is known for his power bat.
Wilkin hit a solo home run to lead off the top of the 4th. Harwich's only run until the 9th. 3-2, the pitch. Curveball in the dirt. Brock Wilkin walks. 4 consecutive Harwich batters have reached base.
This game just fell apart for the Anglers. The A's still have a chance from the bottom of the 9th to either to get this win, or potentially if Harwich scores another run to try and tie up the game.
Tom Holliday's outside the dugout. Dennis Cook is walking out to the mound. Marcus Brown and Caden Grice out there as well. Grice is taking off his wrist tape. He might be coming in the ball game. Grice has given Dennis Cook his sunglasses and wrist tape. Brian Holiday, head down, walks towards the third base dugout. Caden Grice is going to pitch.
Unreal.
And Chatham's making defensive changes as well. Anthony Nunez has come in the game to play third base. Johnny Castanazzi is going to play first.
Moves from third to first. Caden Grice moves from first to pitch.
Grice is on the rubber.
Correct.
6'5" lefty.
Diaz, number 13, is in to play third.
Has a fastball and slider. He's only appeared in 1 other game this season on the bump, and it was Chatham's 8-1 loss to YD. He threw a scoreless frame.
2 strikeouts and a walk on Caden Grice's ledger. But I think Caden Grice pitching isn't the craziest thing that's happened in this half inning. And Grice is spiking pitches in his warm-up.
Carlos Ray began the top of the 9th. Walked Tatum Levens, struck out Tommy Seidel, who pinch hit for Will Hamiter. Hit Press Kavanaugh with a pitch and was pulled. Brian Holiday came in. Nick Goodwin hit a line drive single to left. And then Chris Newell roped one to center. But during Newell's at-bat, things went haywire. 2 runners scored on high fastballs over the mitts of Hayden Travinski.
The first baseman, number 30,
That made it 4-3. Newell drove in Goodwin And Brock Wilkin walked. Newell's the go-ahead run on second, and Wilkin on first. Joe Vitrano, left-handed hitting first baseman, digs into the box. One down, top of the ninth. Ground ball, and double play ends the inning. In the bottom half of the order, Chatham has Marcus Brown, Rock Riggio, and Hayden Travinsky due up. Grice works from the stretch. Comes set. Glove at the hit. The first pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike one. Caden Grice blew a 91-mile-an-hour fastball past the bat of Vitrano. Grice comes set and deals. Another wave and miss. 91 on the outer half, and Joe Vitrano swings through it. Struck out in his last at-bat. Tom Holliday says, don't get cute. Grice rocks on the bump, checks the runner, pitches, swing and a miss, strike three. 3 straight fastballs on the outer half, and Joe Vitrano goes back to the first base dugout. Second out of the inning.
Confidence at bat right there for Caden Grice. With runners on first and second and now with 2 outs, some of that pain is off of his shoulders.
Graham Pauley, left-handed hitting third baseman from Duke. First pitch spiked. Travinsky took it off the chest protector, and he's bent over, elbows on knees. Pauley 1 for 4 with a single. Came to Harwich after starting his season with Katuitt. Chris Newell on second, Brock Wilkin at first. Chatham infield back. 1-0 count, the pitch. Another fastball in the dirt. Travinsky's taken back-to-back pitches off his black and purple catcher's gear.
We've seen lots of wild pitches in this half inning that's gotten Harwich back in this game.
Grice gets the sign. Riggio and Castagnazzi back on the first base side. Lefty on lefty, the pitch. Pauley swings and rolls over. Ground ball trickles to the fence past the Harwich dugout.
Come on, kid, fill it up. Come on. Come on, Bryce.
The Mariners 3 runs in the top of the 9th to come back and tie the ball game. Grice, Chatham's third pitcher in the inning alone. 2-1. Grice deals. A chopper to the first base side. Castagnazzi fields it behind the bag and steps on first to retire Pauley. The A's with one more chance to win the ball game. No extras in the Cape League. Harwich scores 3 runs on 2 hits and 2 wild pitches. Kavanaugh, Goodwin, and Levins all come in to score. Brian Holliday blows the save, and it's 4-4 at Veterans Field. Marcus Brown, Rock Riggio, and Hayden Travinsky are due up for Tom Holliday. We know he likes to make some changes, so those could be in the cards as well. Harwich makes a call to the bullpen. It's tied up at Veterans Field, bottom of the 9th after the break.
Sports Radio, play-by-play. Go A's! Chatham on TRC.
4 in the bottom of the ninth between Chatham and Harwich. Marcus Brown getting into the left-handed batter's box. Chatham bars in, call to the bullpen, brings in right-handed side armor Blake Purnell. From the University of Florida, appearing in his 5th game. He'll work from the stretch. Purnell bends, comes set, and fires. It's a strike on the outside corner. Brown squared around to bunt, but pulled the bat back.
Last thing you'd want to do is bunt a baseball that's pretty much unbuntable. High inside fastball not appealing to Marcus Brown.
Purnell throws from belt level. Bends at the hip, kicks, steals. Brown swings, taps a foul ball off the plate.
He has a fastball slider combination. The fastball is in the high 80s, a slider in the mid to high 70s.
Purnell's appeared in 4 games. He's got a 2.84 ERA through 6 1/3. Brown 0 for 3 today. 2 strikeouts. Bends the knees, brings the bat behind his head. Purnell deals. Brown fouls it off his front foot. Chatham scored 4 runs in the bottom of the first. Nothing since. A's hitters have struck out 15 times. 10 from starter Carlson Reed and 5 from reliever Gage Zeal. Purnell set, 0-2 count. The pitch. Brown pops it up. Third base side, foul territory over the Chatham dugout. Purnell paused an extra second, held his leg up in the air before coming home.
The fan that has that foul ball now has 2 foul balls and a bat. It's quite the souvenir collection.
Harwich's middle infielders heels on the grass. Corners deep as well. Brown half swings, brings the bat behind his head. Purnell delivers. Fastball outside, 1-2 count. Purnell's only struck out 4 batters and walked 2 in his 4 Cape League appearances. 1-2. Brown rips it into left. Cavanaugh doesn't have to move, makes the catch. Prez Cavanaugh stood like a statue, watching the flight of the baseball, lifted up his right arm with glove, and made the catch.
Marcus Brown has talked to us before games, after games, asking whenever he's going to drop the barrel on one. That's one of those pitches where Marcus Brown wishes that he dropped the barrel and sent that ball over the wall. Hard-hit baseball nonetheless.
When he hit his double yesterday, he kissed his palms and pointed them to the sky. Here's Rock Riggio. The first pitch. Riggio cranks it deep to right center field. Newell on the warning track makes the catch. A great sound off the bat. The ball did not have the carry.
What did I say about dropping the barrel? Something along those lines.
Riggio had a 2 RBI triple in the bottom of the first. That was only his 4th Cape League hit. First for extra bases. 4-4 ball game between Chatham and Harwich. No extra innings. Aiden Travinsky in the right-handed batter's box. First pitch. Travinsky swings and misses. 89-mile-an-hour fastball on the outside corner. Travinsky 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts looking. Bounces the bat off his back shoulder. Purnell set, deals. Ground ball left side. Pauly with a sliding stop, fields it, throws a 1-hop to Vetrano. He dropped it. Hayden Travinsky safe, an infield hit.
A little something now for Chatham, right? Just a ground ball to the left side. Graham Pauly with an amazing sliding stop, really. Just tried to throw it way too quickly. And now a pinch runner, so Travinsky is replaced by Matt Hogan.
Hogan's stolen 2 bases this season. He squats deep in his lead off of first, gets an extra step. Johnny Castagnazzi in the right-handed batter's box. The first pitch, low and inside, almost hit Castagnazzi's back foot. Castagnazzi's 0 for 3. He struck out swinging 3 times. Hogan gets his lead. David Smith closer to second. Next pitch, tapped foul behind home plate. David Smith has positioned himself 4 steps, now make it 5 or 6, to the right side of second base. He's back deeper into shallow right field. 1-1 count, Hogan on first, 2 down. 4-4 ball game. Harwich tying it up with 3 runs in the top of the 9th. Purnell set. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. .89-mile-an-hour fastball at shin level. Castagnazzi settles into the right-handed batter's box. His toes inches away from the chalk closest to home plate. Widens his stance. The pitch. Called strike 3. Ball game ends in a 4-4 tie, and Harwich stays in 4th place. The Mariners with 3 runs in the top of the 9th to come back and deadlock the ball game at 4-4. Harwich moves to 6-12-4. Chatham stays in the cellar at 5-13-4. A ball game that started with so much promise for Chatham. 4 runs in the bottom of the first. Guy Garibay leads things off with a solo home run. Cooper Ingle scores on a wild pitch, and Rock Riggio rips a 2 RBI triple to the right field corner. Then nothing for the rest of the ball game. Only 3 hits for Chatham, 16 total strikeouts from A's bats. And Johnny Castagnazzi ends the game and completes his golden sombrero. We'll have the Anglers Extra post-game show for you next. Joe Puccio will be on the field with a player interview. We'll listen back to the highlights and chat about tomorrow's contest, the beginning of a home-and-home with Brewster. Chatham and Harwich end tied at 4, the second tie between the 2 teams. We'll recap it all on the Anglers Extra post-game show coming up next on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Sports Radio, play-by-play. Go A's! Chatham on GRC. When the lights go down in the city and the sun shines on the bay,
Time for the Anglers Extra Postgame Show on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Chatham ties Harwich 4-4. I'm Ian Unsworth. We're going to send it down to Joe Puccio, who has a postgame interview.
We're here on the Anglers Extra postgame show. Chatham ends in a 4-4 tie against Harwich here at Veterans Field. I'm Joe Puccio here with Rock Riggio. Rock, you had a triple to lead off this ball game. Brought home 2 runs. Were you thinking 3 out of the box? What were you thinking in that at-bat?
I was going hard. I mean, I knew I hit it down the line. I knew there was a chance at third. I'm rounding first base, and I look up, and Wish is waving me. My helmet was coming off, and I was like, all right, let's go. Let's do it.
Some members of our media team saw your celebration. You want to explain it to the fans at home?
We're the anglers, so we're the fishermen, so I hooked them and reeled them in.
You've had a last fun couple of days, the 4th of July parade. You were a big component of that. What's this Chatham experience been like for you?
I mean, it's fun. Coming off your first college year, you got to learn to try to enjoy this and try to adapt to the new things that are going on in life and adapt to the host family and adapt to the community, adapt to seeing new guys every single weekend. You know, to even adapt to struggling. Everyone struggles in this league, and that's something you got to bounce back from every day. And so for me, it's a big learning experience.
Tomorrow marks the halfway point of the year. What's the message that your team is currently centering around?
I just keep fighting. You know, keep putting together good at-bats, keep battling with 2 strikes. Just keep going.
Rock, keep fighting. Thanks for the time.
Thank you, sir.
That's Rock Riggio on the Anglers Extra postgame show. Chatham and Harwich end in a 4-4 tie. Let's send it back up to Ian Unsworth with the rest of the Anglers Extra postgame show.
Joe, a big-time base knock for Rock Riggio. That 2-run triple in the bottom of the first, proving all so important after Harwich put up 3 tallies in the top of the 9th and tied the ball game. The totals quickly: Chatham with 4 runs on 6 hits, no errors, left 5 on base. Harwich 4 runs on 7 hits, no errors, and left 5 on base. It's time to take a listen back to the highlights of what was a very interesting ball game. So many things happening. We had Emmanuel Berbari, one of Chatham's broadcasters from 2021 on. Caden Grice flipped the bat into the first base side concourse. A bee landed on our broadcast mixing board. There were so many things happening on this beautiful Wednesday night. Guy Garibay got things started in the bottom of the first after Nick Regalado struck out the side in the top of the first inning. Garibay led off the bottom half with a big-time blast. And there's the pitch. Garibay strokes it to deep right field. Hamner goes back. It's gone! Full count blast for Guy Garibay. 1-0 Chatham in the bottom of the first. Garibay's 2nd home run of the year. Garibay hit it into dead right field. It was gone off the bat. The next batter, Cooper Ingle, walked against Harwich starter Carlson Reed, who walked 3 batters, struck out 10 total in his outing. Ingle walked, made it around to third, and came in on a wild pitch. Brown, lefty, ready. Reed delivers. It skips in the dirt. It's past the catcher, and Cooper Ingle comes home to score. Throw back to third. Hits Kenny Lavari in the face. Caden Grice took third. Lyle Miller-Green took second. And errantly, Tatum Levins fired the ball to Lavari, who was not looking. The Harwich third baseman on the ground holding his head. Another thing that happened in that bottom of the first inning, former Chatham A 2021 angler Kenny Lavari, who's playing for the Harwich Mariners this season, took a ball that Tatum Levins threw down to third without, Lavari wasn't looking. Levins picked up the baseball behind home plate and whipped it to third base. It caught Lavari square in the left cheekbone, but after a couple seconds on the ground, he stood up, made his way back to the first base dugout, left the game under his own power. So good to see Lavari stayed around for the rest of the contest. So keep in mind, we're only 6 batters into this ball game, and all of that has gone on already. Caden Grice, the third batter, got on with a single. Lyle Miller-Green walked, and Rock Riggio, who Joe just chatted with, came to the dish and broke the game open. First pitch to Rock Riggio, laced into right field. Extra bases. Grice scores. Miller Green scores. Riggio rounding second, gets the wave to third. The throw comes in. Riggio safe. A bases clearing triple for Rock Riggio. 2-run score. It's his 4th hit of the year, the first for extra bases. A short and sweet triple for Rock Riggio. Riggio coincidentally hitting Chatham's first triple of the season. And so that was the end of the scoring in the first. 4 runs on 3 hits and 1 left on base. That was Riggio stranded after Hayden Travinski struck out looking to end the inning. And that started a trend of Chatham strikeouts. Carlson Reed struck out the 3 Chatham batters in the bottom of the first. He struck out 10 A's overall. Top of the second, Nick Regalado, who had a great start for Chatham, worked through flawlessly. Top of the third, no score for Harwich, and just a single for Chatham. Lyle Miller Green stranded on second. That single for Miller Green was the A's only hit until the 8th. So yes, the Chatham offense went cold. Top of the fourth, Emmanuel Barbari, former Chatham broadcaster, comes on our call to have a little chat with myself and Joe. And so I asked Emmanuel about Brock Wilken, and then this happened. I guess we'll start. Before we get into you, Eamon, I wanted to hear what you think of Brock Wilken. Reigning Cape League MVP, you saw him a decent amount last year.
Imposing presence. I'm just looking down at him right now. Big righty hitter, a lot of power, and he did a lot to Chatham last year.
1-2, high drive, left field. Garibay runs back. It's over his head and gone.
Wow.
I mean, you can't script it any better than that. Brock Wilken trots around the bases. Cuts into Chatham's lead. It's 4-1 Anglers in the top of the fourth.
So Emmanuel Barbari had his crystal ball moment of the 2022 Cape League season, pretty much predicting a Brock Wilken solo blast to left field. That was a tough top of the fourth for Regalado. He stranded 2 runners on base in that inning. And then we move all the way to the 7th, where Carlos Ray came in for Regalado, and working through his second frame, he had 2 runners on and Wilken up again. But this time things went a little bit differently.
The lefty comes set, hands at his blue belt. He deals. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Carlos Ray gets out of a huge jam. Punches out the reigning Cape League MVP with runners on base to end the top of the 7th. No runs on no hits, no errors, but 2 men left on base.
That was the second time in back-to-back innings that Carlos Ray stranded runners on. And so after that, since there's no scoring, no offense going on the Chatham side, just strikeouts aplenty, 16 total for A's bats, we go to the top of the 9th, where Carlos Ray kept his outing going, but walked the leadoff batter. Brian Holiday comes into the ball game, and after 1 run scores on a wild pitch, 2 men still on base, Harwich got even closer to tying the ball game. Newell takes his time getting in the box. The 2-2. Low and inside, past Travinski again. Cavanaugh comes to the dish. He slides in safe. Chatham's lead whittled to 1. 2 wild pitches from Brian Holiday. So wild pitches in the same at-bat scored Tatum Levins and Perez Cavanaugh. Chris Newell was still at the dish with the tying run, Nick Goodwin, on third. And just a couple of pitches later, Newell put things square. Newell takes his time getting in the box. The 2-2. Low and inside. The game's tying run, Nick Goodwin on third. And the go-ahead run in Chris Newell at the dish. Chatham's infield in. Full count pitch. Laced into center field. Base hit. Goodwin scores. Tie ball game. Brian Holiday blew the save, and Chatham brought Caden Grice in from first base to wrap things off. But that was where the scoring ended. 4-4 ball game, and Chatham got a runner on with Hayden Travinski singling, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th, but Johnny Castagnazzi couldn't make things pay off. Castagnazzi settles into the right-handed batter's box. His toes inches away from the chalk closest to home plate. widens his stance. The pitch. Called strike 3. Ball game ends in a 4-4 tie, and Harwich stays in 4th place. The Mariners with 3 runs in the top of the 9th to come back and deadlock the ball game at 4-4. Harwich moves to 6-12-4. Chatham stays in the cellar at 5-13-4. That's how the ball game ended. Highlights brought to you by the Chatham Athletic Association. Rejoined by Joe Puccio here on the Anglers Extra Postgame Show. Joe, give us the totals.
For Harwich, 4 runs on 7 hits, no errors, 11 men stranded. I think that is a key figure to point out because Harwich only had that 1 run up until the 8th inning, but quite frankly, they almost deserved to win this game with how many runners they had on. But for Chatham, 4 runs on 6 hits, no errors, 5 men left stranded. No winning or losing pitcher, no pitcher with a save, but we'll just do the starting totals for Nick Regalado and Chatham. 5 innings, 4 hits, an earned run, 6 strikeouts, and 2 walks. The starter for Harwich, Carlson Reed, 4 1/3, gave up 4 hits and 4 earned runs, 10 strikeouts. That's right, 10 strikeouts and 3 walks. This was a weird baseball game. There's no other way to really put it. Chatham came out with the early explosion. Harwich didn't do anything until the very last half inning. You want to call it a Chatham choke, you can if you want, but Harwich came out in the 9th inning, put some balls in play, and put the pressure on the A's.
The toughest number for Chatham, 16 strikeouts as a team. Harwich struck the A's out 19 times a couple games ago. That's 35 in 2 contests against Harwich. The next game for the A's, another home contest. Brewster comes to Veterans Field at 7 p.m. tomorrow. We'll catch you then. For now, for Joe Puccio, Ian Unsworth, signing off from Veterans Field.
Chatham Anglers Baseball 2022 has been brought to you by the Chatham Squire, Sweet Tomatoes Pizza, the Red Nun Bar and Grill, Short and Sweet Ice Cream, Cape Cod 5, Audio Associates, the Chatham Bars Inn, and by the Chatham Athletic Association.
Chatham Baseball, sports radio, play-by-play, summertime on Cape Cod.
This has been an exclusive presentation of Chatham A's Baseball on TRZ Team Line.
Chatham on TRZ, Cape Cod.